Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm
12 years. I never expected it to turn out like this. TheBoxingVoice.com. Shout out to the community, man. I appreciate y'all.
What's happening, people? Info Joe, Los Angeles, in the building.
Adrian, the problem wrong, the man from the frozen tundra.
Keem, straight out of Florida. Liz Lowe, Decatur, Georgia.
You already know what it is. It's the Queen, Martha K, Detroit, stand up.
David Maldonado, New York City. Yo, Nuts, don't cut me off, man. Don't cut me off.
King Amin of Essex, catch me for them championship rounds.
Big Superman, Plainview, Texas.
Davidian in Buffalo. God bless you all.
In Jesus' name.
Without y'all, it ain't nothing. Without the callers, it ain't nothing, man.
Bad Girl, TKO, San Diego, California.
Big Fish, Vegas, Palm Beach, Florida.
Detroit, the Incredible, straight out the ATL.
James Benitez, Huntsville, Alabama. It ain't hating, it's just the truth.
Show Kid, Mount Vernon, New York, suckers.
SDS Promotions.
Coach Midday from London, UK.
Let's go! I'm ready!
Checking in from Tennessee. It's legal, James, P-A-Y-N-E. It's legal.
Line 6 Reed, just spreading that boots gospel.
Mo from Bama, only in America.
Well, I'm a true attestation to the American dream.
King Boy, Crown Heights, Brooklyn. You heard? 4 chicken wings and french fries, breakfast and champions. Let's get to it.
JT, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Stuff like that.
Yo, TVV, this Coach J-Mac. New Orleans, Louisiana, 504, baby.
TheBoxingVoice.com.
You walk away with a silver medal, which is an incredible accomplishment. Can you take any pride in that?
I don't like to lose.
Now it's like I know what feeling I don't want to ever go through. He was talking about you crying and blah, blah, blah. Like, you go watch Floyd. Floyd was crying after he lost. I don't ever want to feel that again. I don't want to ever lose. Like, I'm not cool to lose.
This is a TKO victory for Shakur Stevenson.
He's tough. He don't take no for an answer, so I gotta beat it out of him. Score? Of course he the truth.
TFemo not messing with him. I don't think Tank messing with him. Gary Russell Jr. ain't messing with him.
Me right now, if you ask me, would I beat Floyd Mayweather back in the day? I'm gonna say yes. And truthfully, really believe that.
I know my body. Yeah, I know Shakur body. Shakur know my body. Do I step to you when we fought? Yes or no?
No.
Do we step to each other? Yes or no?
No.
The Southpaw version of Floyd Mayweather.
Oscar can't keep ducking. It's time for him to fight. It's me versus Oscar Valdez. There's nothing else to look forward to. Canelo can't get in the ring fight for him. And even if he could, I feel like me and Canelo's at the same weight. I feel like I'll beat him.
SDS Promotions.
I'm one of the best fighters in boxing.
TheBoxingVoice.com.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Monday morning of the Boxing Voice Radio. Hopefully you are at work, driving to work, or waking up for work. And we over here putting in that work. Solo, dolo, Scarface, no Manolo. But you already know, though. We're here to discuss and unpack the Frank Martin interview. Obviously, he did the interview with the Queens of Boxing, or the Queens in the ring of boxing. I mean, I know Boxiana. I don't really know her co-hosts like that. They did a good job getting the answers we needed. Definitely asked the questions that were on our mind. We're also going to have a guest this morning, Jasmine Artiga. She was on the DAZN card, and she It is not Zoom. Hold on a minute. And she scored I believe it was a knockout. It was a great fight. I watched it. She definitely got a knockdown. And yeah, man, just wanted to get her on the show. I had been trying to get her on. I wanted her in studio when we were getting, fighters in studio, which is sad. This is what I'm saying. I be on everybody. I'm gonna check actually her DMs with me, cause I was trying to get her last May. Last May, I said no. We would rather do it in studio. So I'd been already keeping my eye on her for a minute, and she certainly shined this weekend. So we're gonna have her on, and we're gonna be unpacking the Frank Martin interview, man. Once again, shout out to the ladies that conducted the interview and got Martin to open up. And it sounds like it was about money, man. It sounds like it was about money, and that's pretty much it. It's funny because a lot of the stuff that he said, I kind of have heard already um, from someone else, but I guess my sources was right. He wasn't happy with the money, but PBC was. PBC was, and like he said in the interview, he agreed to it verbally, and then when everything came across on paper, he didn't like the way that it looked, and that's because he didn't know a million wasn't a million until, you feel me, that paper came across, and he realized all the deductions that were going to come out due to handlers, trainers, promoters, and I'm using air quotes, right? So that comes out, and then don't forget good old Uncle Sam, he won his cut. So it's unfortunate because we did want that fight, and De Los Santos accepting the fight so quick, there's no buzz with Santos and Stevenson right now. But I do think Martin is wrong in the sense that he feels the fight could be bigger, and maybe it can in the future if they both get titles like he said, but is he in a position to get a belt? Like, he's not going to fight for the WBC anymore. Is he going to sit around waiting for Tank to give him an opportunity and for Devin to vacate the WBA? The only belt that will probably become available is the IBF. Obviously, Devin still has that, but the IBF mandates, and when it's time, it's time. And I don't know that it's time, but I do believe that Gustavo Limon has lost. Yeah, because look, they took him out the rankings now. So, damn, they dropped him completely. That is, man, boxing is terrible. That's crazy. That dude had been at number one for I don't even know how long, all right? I just know I never seen him fight, and he was number one in the IBF at 35 forever and a day. He was a Samson Lewickovich fighter, and he has disappeared. This is the same shit happened to Sean Porter. Sean Porter lost as a champion to Kelbrook, and he got eliminated from the top 15 of the IBF. They are weird over there, for real. That shit is pretty crazy. But looks like George Kambosos is there. But they would have to go to purse bid for that. And again, they're not going to win against, Top Rank. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do, right? Because Top Rank probably doesn't believe in George. It's not a given that George wins that fight. So to overpay in a purse bid situation and, end up having your fighter lose that fight isn't a good thing whatsoever. But I seen somebody say, I want Ness to explain how Frank didn't know any numbers when he first agreed. Please make it make sense. and it's sense, not sense. But again, I'm just taking his word as face value. But I can see a world where he gets the phone call from EJ like, "Yo, you want this fight? Is going to be a fight with Shakur? I'm gonna get you, 7 figures." That's it. You don't know what that 7 figures is, or I'm gonna get you a M, and that's it. I mean, why can't you see a world where that happened? I don't think that's far fetched. I don't think that's far fetched at all. I think that's quite possible. But yeah, I mean that's what he's saying. What are we gonna do? Not believe him? What are we gonna do? That's what he's saying. We have to believe him. Um, but I also, it's like I told you, I was told that Frank had no manager, and he was negotiating for himself, and it was just him and Earl. So I tried to get Rick Glazier on, of all people, right? Because my information and Rick's information are pretty similar. Rick posted something about um, Frank not knowing how much percentage was gonna get deducted from his million until, let me just pull up Rick's actual. Pull up his actual tweet and do it. He actually refused because he says when he comes on here, you know, people race bait him, and we never believe anything he has to say. So I'm like, hey man, we can't believe anything you say, but this tweet is different, right? Like I heard something similar to this. Let me um get it here. Because I want to screen share it, unfortunately. I apologize here. Damn it. Fucking Rick Glazier. What? It's so hard to do this right now. Fucking Facebook. Let me do it from my computer then. Apologies. But yeah, if you want to call in and you want to voice your opinion on today's subject, which is obviously the Frank Martin situation, feel free. Phone line is open 1425 569 5241. Press 1 time to voice your opinion. You can also use Twitter Spaces and Discord as always. And I got it now. Here we go. Screen share T minus 1. All right. So, as you can see, he says, here's what happened that no one will speak of. Frank Martin doesn't realize, but Al Heyman and Martin's promoter, hashtag Earl Spence, were taking too much money off the top. Martin not realizing, leaving Martin unsatisfied financially. So now Martin still not realizing who the real culprits are, blaming Shakur. That's what happened. So I'm not corroborating this statement. I'm saying I got similar information. I didn't hear anything about too much off the top. I heard he didn't realize, these people had to get a cut. TGB was working on behalf of him. They were the ones communicating with Top Rank. That's a cut. Earl's his promoter. That's a cut. Taxes. That's a cut. And then we don't know if Al gets his 10 because it's never been clear if Frank is a Al Heyman fighter. So those are a lot of deductions, right? You can consider that and understand that. I mean, look, if we go off what they told, I never made a mill, but if we go off what they tell us, they taking close to 40%. That leaves them with 6. We talking let's say Derek is nice and taking 15, 10%, get a math whiz on the line. It ain't a lot of money. The only way that made sense to take 500, 400,000 after taxes and after paying everybody off is if you know you can beat them. Because it don't matter if you could beat them. But that's a tough fight. I don't think anyone is going into a Shakur fight knowing for sure they're going to beat him. So it's a tall task and a tall glass to drink, bro. Like 400,000 for a loss. I mean, look, you could have came out of it better. You never know, right? We got guys like Diego Chavez made a career out of losing greatly to Thurman and Bradley. That kept getting them fights back on, television. I don't know what's Frank's path. He did mention on their show. Let me actually get that proper. So it was the YouTube channel is Nikki J, but they're called Queens of the Ring Boxing Talk, and it's episode 147. Salute to them. They got a bunch of views, a bunch of love. At least people showed them love. That was nice. They did a good job. So check out that full interview. But it is what it is. It really comes down to money. I don't know that Frank has any leverage to ask for more money. Like he didn't say how much, but he told the young ladies that he wanted a little to make it happen. A little more whatever means, however much was. But what is he bringing to the table? Other than the buzz that the fight had, right? So from what I hear in this interview, he feels like he may be more valuable due to that buzz. He like, you see it, everybody wanted that fight, the fight big. And I was like, damn, it was a good fight. But, bro, at the end of the day, like, you're not even Robinson Concia on Shakur's resume. That's, I guess her name is Nikki J because I know that's Boxiana. So Nikki J must have said something like, damn, it was just on my mind. Then I had to remember her name. Fuck. They were just basically saying like, yo, the fight is valuable, but it might never get revisited. They already on opposite sides of the street. It's going to take a unification, B-Dog saying a little more probably like another $500,000, which isn't crazy to ask for. I mean, if the pot is $4 million and, I don't know, man. If the pot is $4 million, does Shakur deserve $3 million to fight Frank? And if the pot is $5 million, does Shakur deserve $4 million to fight Frank? Could Shakur have given up $5 million? I don't know, but Shakur's the one with the accolades at the end of the day. Shakur's the one with the silver medal. Shakur's the one multiple division champ. Frank ain't done that. And Shakur's the one bringing the money. Shakur is the one bringing the money. It's his promoter bidding and making offers. Like, that was another question that they didn't get an answer to. Like, oh, what happened with the purse bid? They didn't follow up. They were supposed to say, well, if you ain't want the offer, why y'all ain't just go back to purse bid? Why y'all ain't contact WBC to reinstate the purse bid, to get a new purse bid date? Like, why just up together? You just straight said no. And now they went to the next dude. So that was the little weird part. that certainly deserved a follow-up question on that so that we know what's going on. But it is what it is. This is Frank's side of the story. He was certainly upset that everybody was running with one side, but that's what happens when you take that long to come out and say your side. He got good retention. His I ain't duck shit tweet got over 1 million views, so he certainly is gaining from this. I got Modern King Boxing, $2. Frank ducking with duck emoji, stanks. Okay. Big Supermax, $5. HBO Max gonna be showing AEW wrestling events soon. Maybe that can open the door for the return of HBO boxing, at least for the big fights. I doubt it, man. It's just boxing is expensive, you know? Imagine how many fucking staged AEW wrestling matches HBO can put on with the budget of Frank Martin versus Shakur. You know what I'm saying? $4 or $5 million goes a long way. And every other, venture other than boxing, bro, it's like boxing because they're risking their life is a lot of money. That is okay. So the was 500K is what I'm being told. I don't know if they want that revealed, but they've heard it was 500K. So I mean, that's still a lot though. You feel me? Like, we can't sit here and act that, someone asking for 9 times, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say those words, but you priced yourself out. 9 times your worth, right? Because that's what 250 would be, right? I don't know, man. That's a lot. That is a lot. I don't know that they would have done that. And I just like, what's the reason? What's the reason that you deserve that much? It's actually not 9 times because it was 250, right? His highest thing. So, but it's still like, he was getting $1 million. He wanted another half, so 4.5. No, 6 times actually, 6 times the amount. That's a lot for your first title fight. It's not a lot of people that make that type of money, especially in a title fight, but looks like we got Jasmine on. Good morning, Jasmine. How are you?
Good. How are you? Can you see me?
I can see you. So is it Artiga?
Atiga, yeah. Hold on. Let me
Okay.
see if I can. How come my headphones are hooking up? Can you hear
All
me?
right. I hear you. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm happy to have you on the show. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's talk about your experience. How was the DAZN experience for you in getting a viral moment in boxing?
Oh man, it was so exciting. The most important part is like I went out there and I just had fun with it, and I just like it's that moment that like every fighter dreams of, stepping on that zone, that matchroom stage, and my team, we worked so hard to be here, and finally, we were 10-0. We finally got that little break that we've been looking for. You know what I mean?
So your manager's Peter Khan. He's obviously been doing his thing in the business over the last few years, and he put you in a great position here. Do you believe you'll be back on DAZN? Will we continue to see you there?
Yeah, Peter is the man. He's been nothing but like the best manager. I can't ask for a better manager than him. he just fits our mold so perfectly. He's family oriented, just like me and my dad and my brother works my corner. So like we're looking at December on Matchroom again.
Okay,
Not too.
December.
I'm not too sure on the details of all that, but I believe they do want me back. Yes.
So on the Zone as a network, there are a lot of females in your division that are, pretty known. Sinisa Estrada, Stephanie Silva. Is Jocasta Valle around that weight?
They're a little smaller than me. I think they're
Okay.
fighting at 105. I'm at 115, 112. So anybody in that division, honestly, like it's more so I don't care about names. I'm looking for belts. So we're at the point right now where I want a regional world title belt. I want to get my hands on a regional world title belt, and from there, sky's the limit.
So can you take me to the beginning? What got you into boxing?
I grew up around boxing. My dad boxed when he was young, so I was in a household where we watched boxing every Friday. I grew up on the likes of Floyd Mayweather's, Zab Judah, watching those type of fights, and Manny Pacquiao, and I was always I've watched it. I hit a heavy bag growing up. I knew the fight game, but it wasn't until I was 21 years old that I actually picked it up and decided to compete with it. But from day one, when I decided, I was actually playing. I don't know if you ever heard of the LFL, the Lingerie Football League. I was playing. It was a professional football league that was on MTV2. It lasted like I want to say every bit of like 5 years. So right after high school, I actually jumped into doing that. I played safety. I started, was the youngest girl in the league, and it was fun. It was an adventure. After that, I was like, deciding what I wanted to do with my life, and we just kind of visited my brother was playing with boxing a little bit, and we just kind of visited the idea of boxing. So I had my first sparring session, and from day one, Dad was like, I can make you a world champion. So we went with that, and we ran with it.
Who said they can make you world champion?
My father.
Okay, so he's your trainer.
Yeah, he's my trainer.
And who has he trained before you?
Just me. I'm his only fighter, and he fought. He fought when he was younger. He fought in Tampa. Did the whole amateur thing. Went out to California and Vegas. Was managed by Billy Baxter out there in the '80s, and he just, he got fed up with the boxing business itself. Being a young kid with no guidance and just kind of doing the thing himself out there in Vegas, and he pretty much walked away from his dreams and came back and started a family. Came back to Tampa, started a family, and here I am picking up the pencil and writing that out. So we're definitely gonna get a world title together.
So, how many siblings do you have?
I have an older sister that's a year older than me, and then I have a younger brother that's a year younger than me.
Okay. I thought your
they're
brother
all the biggest supporters. I can't ask for better siblings.
I thought I misunderstood earlier. I thought you said you had an older brother. So that's why Daddy's little girl took up boxing, because you came first, obviously. That's amazing, though. That's good. And a lot of fathers get their first opportunity with their child in this sport. So, it'll be great to see you guys get that world title together.
Of course. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Did you do bodybuilding at all, or is that genetics?
No, it's genetics. It's genetics. My dad was wiry and skinny. My brother, if you see my brother, he's wiry and has got crazy muscle tone. So yeah, it's just genetics. I did like to lift weights a little bit, but never any thought of like stepping on a stage, or it just wasn't my thing. I just didn't see anything like building a body for no point for like no performance. You know what I mean? You're just standing on stage and you look good. Like I've always been an athletic person, so I played. I grew up dancing, tap, jazz, ballet, all that. As a young girl, and then my first sport that I took up was tennis, and I was really good at tennis, but it just wasn't aggressive enough for me. Then I played basketball in high school, picked that up a little late, but was starting with girls that have been playing their whole life. I was just fast and could steal the ball, naturally athletic. Played flag football in high school, ran some track, and just kind of dabbled in a bunch of different sports. So I've always had that natural athletic ability. And when I took into boxing, it kind of all came together, because I'm also like I was very a shy person. So like it was a way for me to express myself through my hands and not talking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you picked it up at 21.
21.
How? When was the first moment you knew you wanted to take it seriously?
You know what? Like even before putting the gloves on, I just loved. I knew I was a fighter. You know, like I love going in the garage every night and hitting that bag for 30 minutes. So like I knew if I got the opportunity to actually put the gloves on, it wasn't a matter of let's do this for fun and see where we go. Like I want world titles. So from day one, I've asked anybody that's known me the first day I've stayed that I've stepped into a boxing gym. Like I'm the hardest worker in a gym. Like I've trained like a professional since I was an amateur. Like from the very first day, the goal was always world titles. It was never like let's play and see how far we can go. It's the world title. That was the main goal when we first started.
How many amateur fights did you have?
Not many, 10. I had 10
10.
amateur fights. Kind of sat low, took my time, and I don't miss sparring at all. I spar twice a week, so I like to say that like my experience isn't on paper, but I mean I beat girls with 80, 90, 100 amateur fights. You know, I do well, so I think my lack of experience earlier in my career, I think my athletic ability overtook that and my aggressiveness. But now my skill set, my experience is right up there. So I kind of throw that's not the narrative anymore. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I mean, I can tell that they groomed you in the professional so that you can get some experience. Early on, you suffered a draw, and that young lady seems to have retired or hasn't fought since then. Did you ever try to avenge that draw?
You know, I
Not
haven't seen
avenge it. You
anything of.
can't avenge a draw, but I mean, right the wrong,
Right, right,
right?
right, right. Well, yeah, you know, when I go back and watch that fight, I think, sorry, I think the draw came from more than just, it was just a little political, which is cool. It actually, like, I think it was my turning point of like, okay, let's sharpen up everything so they can't take any fights away. Um, I mean, if the girl, if she won, I haven't seen her fight since, so it's never really been a thought. I think if I've seen her active, and of course, you know, I would want to fight her again. I would probably most likely dominate or stop her. But we've grown so much since that time. But it was a good turning point because it made me really like say, hey, look, yes, we're naturally talented, but that girl had like 100 amateur fights. So you know, I was in there with a girl with 100 amateur fights, and you know, she tied me up when she had to, and I didn't have much. Much inside box game because I'm a long fighter. But that turned my point to, you know, we're going to sharpen up every single aspect of our game and not just be one dimensional. You know what I mean?
For sure. So obviously, this is a live interview. People are asking your age. You're 31 now, right?
I'm 31, yes. My
So
birthday was in April.
happy belated, and obviously that's now 10 years of experience. So
Yeah. Yeah.
is there any of the champions in your division with the zone? Do you have that to look forward to?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think that we're now at a point where Matchroom is they're signing girls in my weight class. I think before the girls were a little heavier, so I am looking forward to these girls. You know, the prospects that they have overseas and stuff. If you know, I'm not really big on fighting. I don't really care about the names, honestly. Like I want somebody with the world title. But I don't think there's. I'm trying to think of who with Matchroom has a world title. I have to go back and look at it. But yeah, if they have a title and Matchroom like gives me the opportunity, of course, I'm all for it.
Now, are you naturally southpaw, or did your dad change you?
I am ambidextrous. I am naturally southpaw, yes. Left hand, do everything predominantly left-handed, but I'm comfortable on my right side. I can eat with my right side. I can write with my right hand. But no, I'm naturally left-handed. I'm just very comfortable on my right side.
They have you listed as orthodox, but I feel like you were fighting out of the southpaw, especially when you got the knockdown.
Yeah, southpaw is just a huge advantage, all in all. You know what I mean? So why not fight the way that is advantage to you? But no, I am a natural southpaw.
What's your thoughts on Beatrice Ferreira? She's with Matchroom, but I believe she's a lot heavier than you.
She's a lot heavier. Oh man, she is a force to be reckoned with. Let me tell
Yeah.
you. If I say anybody like that division should be on notice about that woman. She is a very dangerous fighter.
It's that 35, right?
Yeah, I think 35. So
Yeah,
there's a lot
she's
of
a
good fights at
beast.
that. Yeah, she's a beast, man. Me and Dad, we talk about her all the time. When we seen her, she's very impressive. Probably a big, big force in that division.
Now, 10 years ago when you started this, did you and your dad have professionals in your mind? Because women's boxing 10 years ago, it wasn't as big as it is now. I mean, it's booming now. Like, it's kind of the thing.
As of like, did I watch the professional women at the top moment?
Did you think you were going to have a career in boxing as a
Oh,
woman, knowing that this, it didn't really exist like that, right? I mean, 10
it
years ago.
didn't, but we kind of knew it was gonna times were changing. Um, when I started, women we were knocking on the door of sports. Of course, it wasn't great in boxing, but it was more so. Look, we're gonna do this journey together, and if it gets popular, it doesn't matter. Like a world title is a world title. So like we weren't looking for it to be something of popularity. We were looking for the glory of being able to say, hey, I'm a world champion. You know what I mean? So popular or not, I would still be chasing my dream with this boxing thing.
So, what do you do outside of boxing? Because, you just got on TV. Women's boxing doesn't pay like the men. So, I'm assuming you have to do something else, or are you blessed to be able to be a full-time fighter?
I am 100% a full time fighter, but I do.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I just when I got super serious about like you're seeing you okay, you're 4-0, you're 5-0, you're 6-0, you're 7-0. You're growing as these fights. You turn your life into boxing. I live my life like the Katie Taylors and the Amanda Serranos of the world. So boxing is anything that is in my life during the day is around boxing, and it probably has to do something with boxing. I do make money off of. I run women's fitness boot camps. I train little kids how to box. I'm really heavy on the youth side of it. I really want to be a huge influence to the youth because they really need it nowadays. So I get kids that struggle with bullying. I get kids that they're just not active enough. They're on the TV or they're going through depression, anxiety, anything, and their parents bring them to me. So I'm blessed to be able to give back to the kids of what boxing gave to me, and I just want to give back, to the kids and be a positive influence and let them know, hey, look, you can be a shy person and be whatever you're going through and be able to see your dreams through. You know what I mean? So that's what keeps me pushing. So yeah, everything I do is for boxing, like with my women's fitness and just trying to give back and be inspiration to other people.
So, you are Cuban, right?
Yes, I am Cuban, 100% Cuban on both sides, but I was born and raised in Tampa, Florida. Fourth generation. My dad's family came from Cuba. I don't know if you know any of the history of Tampa, but it was a big. Ybor was a Cuban that came down and was big in the cigar business industry, and they came to Tampa, Ybor City, and put had a bunch of Cubans come down, and they're all cigar rollers, and that's how my family migrated to Tampa on my dad's side. But my mom came here when she was 16 years old in 1980.
That's amazing. So, did your dad box at all over there? Obviously, boxing is such a
Yeah,
big thing in Cuba.
yeah. My dad boxed in Tampa. He boxed for Phil Alessi in Tampa, and like I said, then he moved out to California and Vegas and trained at a Johnny Taco's gym. And he was
Wow, they just
alongside.
closed Johnny's.
Yeah, he was alongside running with Michael Nunn and those guys. So yeah, my dad's trainer was Jimmy Williams, Antonio Tarver's trainer. So I'm learning from the best.
But he didn't fight in Cuba at all.
No. My dad was born and raised in Tampa.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
He's on that side. He's a Tampa native but with Cuban roots.
So, do you speak Spanish?
I do not.
What?
I'm not fluent. But listen, I
You live in
understand.
Tampa. That's like
I know.
that's like a baby Caribbean island.
I know, and it's just getting more. It's just people are migrating here more, and it's becoming like Miami. But no, I don't. But I understand everything fluently.
Wow.
I just didn't practice it.
Nah, no worries. Well, those are all my questions. I thank you for coming on. I did want to just have you come and do your victory lap, introduce you to my audience. We wanted to get you in studio last year when we were bringing people in.
No, we talked about it.
But I'm happy to have you on. Happy that you got your opportunity on the zone, and
Thank
I
you
hope
so
you
much.
continue to get, your wins. And shout out to Peter Khan for doing his thing.
Thank you. Yeah, Peter, he's doing his thing, and we're going to the top. So yes, I believe my performance Saturday night definitely put my division on notice, and we're straight to the top with it. And I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be on your show. I know you have a huge following, with the Boxing Voice is the best in the business. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you for sure. There you have it,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen. Jasmine Artiga, right?
Yes, and y'all can follow me on Instagram at animal.boxing. I don't do much Twitter. You'll probably find me through my regular name because I'm not with the nonsense of going back and forth on there. But
Yeah, they need to
yeah, you can
check
follow
your,
me.
your Instagram. You're like a chameleon. You look so different in so many different pictures here. You have very many different versions of yourself.
And I like to say that it's like I take that same thing into the ring with me because like I'm aggressive. So when I fight, like you're gonna I'm coming to fight. So, but I also can box. Like I can adapt. Like I say, my fighting style is winning pretty much. So, yeah, I'm the same in the ring, out of the ring.
So I feel like the nickname is a little self-explanatory. So I need to know who gave it to you and why.
I
Animal.
actually got it. I actually got it in the gyms and stuff, like sparring the boys all the time, and going to the gyms. And none of the boys ever want to spar me, but yeah, I just would hear people say the animal or like beast, and I was thinking, I was like, listen, like that fits because like I like the whole versatility of it. Like I could be any animal. I don't just subject myself to one type. Like it could be like quick, fast, aggressive, strong. Just like a snake. Like can't hit. So like it's just like it was real fitting, and it goes with my last name.
Well, I appreciate you and can't wait to have you back on. You said December you're back in the ring, right?
Yeah, we're looking at December, so keep an eye out for that.
All right. Well, once you get that fight announcement, we'll get you right back on to discuss the opponent. We appreciate you.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Guys, check out her fight on the zone. It was actually a good fight, 8-rounder. She got a knockdown, southpaw, decent. I had been checking her out for a while. Obviously, when we were bringing people into studio, we wanted to get her in. She's been with Peter Khan for a while, and looks like they've taken the metaphorical leash off because that's it. The development is over, and they got her on the zone. So it's going to be big fights coming up, I'm assuming. But we are talking to Frank Martin interview. Anybody wants to call in, phone lines are open. I'm going out to Cliff in Connecticut. I see you. You will be the first caller we go to. In the meantime, in between time, if you haven't already done so, smash that thumbs up button.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Subscribe to youtube.com/theboxingvoice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
Cliff, what up?
Yo, what up? Good morning, Boxing Voice. What's good?
What up? What up?
Yeah, listening to you break down to Frank Martin, for me, it just sounds like he's incompetent. And it's funny, it's so ironic that he wakes up and has an epiphany and he goes over his contract and his numbers when Shakur comes calling. Because if you let me like interpret it the way I'm interpreting it, it don't matter. When you was making 250 or whatever you was making for the smaller fights, you was getting those same deductions taken from your pot. It's not going to change.
Not necessarily,
you got
bro.
a new fight.
Not necessarily.
Well, why not? Explain to me. Correct me when I'm wrong.
I've interviewed a lot of people that come on this show and be like, man, I wasn't even taking nothing in the beginning. You know what I mean? I was letting them take all that because we were waiting for the big fight. A lot of, sometimes, because how would you be
Well,
you know,
but how we
taking
gonna guess like
15%
that
from
though, Ness?
600. I mean, but we not guessing, but we also not gonna act like it's not possible. You know, in this business, we've heard that, bro. There's dozens and dozens and millions of interviews on YouTube of these people speaking about their, you know, situations. And you know,
Okay, so the boxing is as dirty as y'all explain it then, because that for me that would bother me then. See, I don't want to change my stance because I felt strongly, but with you saying
nah,
that,
but I mean,
it gives him
you
a little
entitled
bit of
to
wiggle room,
you entitled to feel
huh?
strongly because it doesn't necessarily mean that he wasn't being deducted. But I'm not gonna act like there's not a world that exists where, you know, some of these dudes like, bruh, Al's rich. You know what I'm saying? Like he had Beyonce and Jay-Z before boxing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do he really need Frank's 10% of 250? Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right, all right. I got you. I
And
got
maybe
you.
and maybe he
So
like,
so
yo, I
so
don't need it when you making 250, but when you making a mill, there's more money for us to deduct, and you still get to bring home more than 250. So who knows? I'm just saying,
But it should
I
have
could
been a
see a world
contract
like
though.
that.
But hold on, but when he signed the maximum amount of money that Al, Earl, and anybody could have took should have been on in a contract, and he should have known. Well, these niggas ain't taking their 10% or their 15, whatever. Let's just leave it at these niggas not taking their 10% because they showing me love, whatever. But if the time comes, I know that it's on paper that I signed that they're entitled to 10%. So right, so am I right or wrong? Whatever the maximum money that Al could take from him had to be written down in his contract, or whomever could take from him.
It
These
should. It
numbers aren't
should. Yeah,
fluent.
of
They
course.
can't be fluent.
Of course.
You could bill me.
Of course
I didn't
his
finish my point. Let me
of
get it out.
course I believe what you're saying, that somewhere he knew what everyone would get when the time would come. You know, like you ain't just
Right.
working
All
with
right.
people without knowing what percentage they taking from your check.
Yeah, you just can't
But
all of
but
a
but
sudden
Wayne is right. Wayne is
I
right.
want
There's no
10% and you
excuse.
took 2% the whole other time.
Look,
Like you knew that was an option, even if they didn't exercise it. But so my whole point is that like
but I mean,
that
I'm
he's
just
just
saying,
very incompetent.
why we acting like he's not entitled to change his mind if the money don't make sense to him, though.
Because you signed.
He ain't
Let me
signed.
explain it
He ain't
then.
signed.
So
He ain't signed. That's why he's
okay,
entitled. He agreed in
let me explain it.
principle,
Hey,
and then they sent over the contract. So basically, this because you got to listen to the interview. He
no,
said, "Listen, I gave them everything they wanted. You know, I agreed. Then you know, when he seen the money wasn't right, he ain't take it. But he agreed in principle. He agreed with his team. He ain't
but
agreed it with them.
that's being incompetent. Ness, you know what YouTube is gonna take from you, and if they're not taking it, fine. But if one day they do take all that percentage, when you go viral, you know what they can take. Like so, like come on, at least you got to give it that much. Like you said, nobody. The contract, the numbers in the contract are not fluent. They're hard. Now, if a person exercises that number or not is one thing, but you know how much you owe these people, and he knows how much that he owes these people if they
But
so want to
that's the
take it.
point. That's the point. When he did the math, it ain't make sense.
All right. So let me make a point because this is the point I'm trying to get to. Well, the all right. So you're making me lose my train of thought because you bringing me through a roller coaster. But so regardless, this opportunity is not is when it ever again if this opportunity comes knocking at his door, unless he leaves them or he negotiates with them, these same circumstances will come. So he's not negotiating with Shakur, he's negotiating with your team because basically that's what we're saying here. Because if you're gonna fight Tank and you get an extra million, 2 million instead of the one offer, well, those same deductions is gonna come out that 2 million. And again, he's like, give it another oomph. 500,000. So if you want to get another 500,000, do you really want 500,000? Because those same deductions is going to come out that 5, or do you really want another million, and after the deductions it becomes 5? Because 5 with those deductions, we just going to say they taking 60% because Uncle Sam got to come in and everybody else. That 5 is really going to be like 2 or one something. So what do you really want? And this opportunity that you just got, you're not the Olympian, you're not the 2-time unified. Whenever Tank comes knocking for you or the next champion, you're always going to be the B-side, and you're going to get this same offer again if you're lucky. So why did you not take it now? And another thing, if you lose to Shakur, that's probably the best loss you can have, even better than Tank, because Tank gonna knock you out and embarrass you and really lower your stock. At least you could lose on the cards to Shakur. The only nigga that think you're gonna beat Shakur is Fats. Nobody else think you could beat him. But if you lose to Shakur, it's like a good loss. You're O, and you don't. There's no reason to hold on to your O if it's put up against Shakur, because your O isn't respected like Devin Haney's O, Tank's O, Shakur's O. Your O is not that kind of O. We nobody's looking at you like that. So if you lost to Shakur closely, good, and competitively, that is a win. And even if you got savaged, you could have still keep coming, because just like Valdez, he's still getting big fights and whatnot. You can lose to Shakur and still grow. When you get this opportunity again, it's going to be the same thing, unless you just break the contract as soon as you can and negotiate one that you really like. You really just ducked, in my opinion, or you're just very incompetent. And either way, it looks bad on you. You had now I understand why Shakur is so frustrated with you, because it's like he explained it to you, or y'all talked over the phone, and then you want to pull out. Like there's no other place for you to go. Now you're gonna go fight for 250 and get deducted. But
all right.
I'm done. I mean, right. I figured my time was up. It ain't my time.
It ain't your time. Hey, I was letting you get it off your chest, champ. You know, we appreciate anybody that just chooses our platform to get it off their chest, voice their opinion, let the world know how they feel, because boxing, it makes us feel. Just like Usyk, I feel. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. I want to be mad at Frank, but I'm not, because I get it. The money matters. The money matters, but I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying, it was a good offer. It was a good offer, man. 4 times the amount you ever made. Your own promoter they canceled the purse bid. They wasn't even interested in going to purse bid. So it was a good offer, man. If he would have had representation, which he doesn't have, he would have knew all this. All he got is Earl. He need a manager. I got JV88 $2. Shakur hypocrite for quoting Floyd talking about fear. Swift in the 718 $5. So I suppose Frank will never fight a big money fight from here on out. He said he got a fight, and it's a main event in December, mid or late. So hopefully that's the case. Larry Smooth. Hold on, Larry. Looks like we got to reconnect. You there? Yeah, give 1 sec. You should be good now. Larry? Did that not work?
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Yo. All right, bet. What's going on, man? Shout out to you. Shout out to the good brothers of the back call, man. Appreciate the show as always. Man, where do I begin? I feel like Frank Martin really did himself a disservice by not taking this opportunity, taking this fight. For me, like it's a lot of layers to this shit to really unpack. It's hard to kind of give him some leeway or cut him some slack when you out here talking, you talking cash shit, Hey, I'm willing to fight all the top names. I'm better than these guys. I'm this, I'm that. They can't fuck with me. If that's the case, then you gotta take it. Like, what's the reason for not taking it? Because if you for sure that you can win, this is a steal, man. You getting your biggest payday. You know what I'm saying? And you getting the opportunity to show the world that Shakur ain't what we all think he is. So if you really about that, there's no reason for you to turn down the fight. You know what I'm saying? I it's hard for me to believe that it's about the money, man. Like, niggas is saying that he never made no more than 250, but you getting off of the M. Like, and granted, we was talking about this shit last night on the back call, and JP made a good point saying that saying that because a nigga never made a certain amount of money before and we offering him more than what he ever made, that's not a that's not really a good reason to say a nigga should have took the bread. Cause I do believe that. Like, you can't say, like, if I work at Walmart, yo, you only ever made $12 an hour. You feel me? So now that you at this new job, we only gotta pay you 13 because you never made 13 before. Like, so that is bullshit. But in my pretty much the way I defended the shit was by saying, like, we really gotta be realistic as to what Frank Martin is really bringing to the table in this situation. He's never been a champ. He don't have the amateur pedigree like Shakur. He's not an Olympian. The nigga old as shit. Like, and if we being real, the casual, the public fans, they really don't know the nigga like that. This wasn't a pay-per-view fight, or at least I don't think it was scheduled to be a pay-per-view fight. And it was gonna happen on a Thursday night. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all of those factors really was going against them, and they still was willing to offer him $1 million. So it really seems like it's a confidence issue to me, as opposed to it's about the money. Because if you really believe everything that you're saying, then you should have hopped in there for that M. And let's all right, cool. And I know you brought up the taxes shit. Let's get to that, right? So if a nigga, you broke it down damn near on the nose. If a nigga get paid an M after taxes, Uncle Sam taking 50%. So let's say after taxes he got 500K left, and then he break off Derek James and whoever else he got to pay. Let's just say he bring home 400,000. You feel me? That's still a shit ton more than what? Let's say if he made 250 for his last fight. Let's say he brought home 100.
You may feel like
Come
it's your
on, man. That's
time,
still 3 times the bread,
but
man.
it's not your
He should
time.
have took the fight, and the nigga ducked, man. Y'all stay up.
All right, so I googled it. It's 37%, which means they taking, three hundred and seventy
Hold on. So
thousand.
that's for anything over $1 million. It's 37%.
If you're a single and you earn, I mean, again, remember, if you got a good accountant, you gonna bring more home. He's a business. He's a 1099 like me. He got expenses,
Word. So he can write off
everything.
shit. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he
He can
could
write
write
off
off
shit.
everything, but as a single person with no dependents, they taking 37% out of $1 million.
Okay, so shit. So we even giving him the benefit of the doubt by saying that he only going to bring home 5 after taxes. He bringing more after taxes. So if anything, that worked against him. Like, that's even more reason why he should have took the fight instead of asking for an extra whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean.
Well,
Like,
according to means 500, but let me get to some other calls. Nah, for real, that's what
all
they
right.
saying. They saying that he wanted another 500. I just don't. It's crazy to me that you could just be like, "Yo, I want another 500." Like, bruh, I rock with Frank. You know what I'm saying? I like him. He's good. But like, what are we basing it on? Like, we just saying I want another 500 so that I could come home with a clean meal. Like, you basically saying, yo, cover my expenses and we gonna get the fight. That shit crazy to me, bro. Tyron, what up?
Yo, what's good with you, champ? Shouts out TVV. What's going on with you, man?
Another day, another dollar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I saw a little bit of Frank interview. I found it kind of weird. He kept bringing up Devin Haney and Shakur situation, and how Shakur turned down the 25% for all the belts and was talking about yeah, this a fight, you know what I'm saying, for the WBC. It was basically like him just talking in circles. At the end of the day, man, the Frank and Shakur fight, I think on the Thursday, especially with that, in Vegas, all that was going to be a flop. Two, you know, Frank wasn't the fighter that was rushing to jump in with Shakur. You know what I'm saying? It was all these fighters that didn't want to fight Shakur, and they gave you the fight, Frank. Let's be real. I only saw Frank probably fight one time, if that, and I'm sure a lot of people saw some highlights of Frank Martin, but really don't know Frank Martin. Let's be real, for real, for real. Only the hardcore fans, but and it's like, Frank, this is your biggest fight. You look at when Floyd took the Oscar fight. He had to submit to all the stipulations that Oscar, had to give to him. Moving up 8 pounds, taking this, taking that. But he believed in himself. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it because I know what I'm capable of. At the end of the day, Frank, you know that you're not going to be able to beat Shakur. You want more compensation, but it doesn't make sense. You walking around in circles. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you agreed upon the fight. You knew what you was taking home. You know what I'm saying? This not your first fight under, Al, Showtime, Spence. So you can't give us that BS, and you can't try to compare yourself to what Shakur asks for with Devin Haney. And in that interview, if you listen, that's what he kept bringing up, Devin Haney and Shakur. I don't know why everybody continue to keep bringing up Shakur turned down 25% and trying to make it like, okay, well, shit, since you turned the 25 down, 25% down, and you was fighting for all belts, then shit, I'm gonna turn down your 25%. I need more money. It's like, dude, stop. And that's why I feel like that's where it's coming from. You know what I'm saying? It's like now people trying to, bring it, okay, well, damn, Shakur, you turned that down, that 25%. And it's like, yo, it's just not right. At the end of the day, Frank don't want to fight. He know he's going to lose. He want more money. And it's like he was talking about his brand, and it's like, dude, you don't really have a brand. You haven't really fought nobody. So take the fight. Do what you gotta do. If you lose, you lose. Pick yourself back up. Keep pushing. You're gonna have more money in your bank account at the end of the day, point blank period. And we need to get
That's the bell,
back to
Chant.
fight.
Yo, that was a good call though. I do like your call. That shit, you certainly vented. Um, you said something I wanted to touch on, man, before I go to my next caller. The Devin Haney thing. I think what he was doing is trying to show his fans that the offer he's turning down is in fact a bad offer. That's how he's trying to present it to the audience, right? He's saying, I'm fighting for 25% and one belt, and it's a vacant belt. Like, yeah, it's a WBC, but it's a vacant belt. He was fighting for 25% for all the strap. That's what he's trying to do. So when he's bringing it up strategically. In my opinion, he's trying to show you, hey, I'm doing what he did for a reason. He turned down that fight for no reason. That's what he's trying to do. At least that's how I'm interpreting it, right? We got Brandon in Cincinnati. While we wait for him to connect, hit that thumbs up.
Yo, Ness, how's my audio, brother? Good morning.
Straight. Thank you, Boxiana. Yeah. Just call me smart.
Salute to you on the whole TBV. Let me start off by saying, I called cap on Frank Martin.
Uh-oh.
I find it hard to believe that you canceled the purse bid. You agree to all terms and conditions without speaking about the money. I call cap on that. I've put more trust in TGB and Al Heyman to not cancel a purse bid and agree to a fight
can I interact
without
with you?
discussing monetary terms. That's cap. Let's just be real.
Can I
That's cap.
interact? Can I interact with you?
Sure.
Okay. Do you think Frank and Earl have a friendship?
Oh no,
You don't know, you said?
I don't know.
Do you think?
Probably not.
Okay. Um, do you think that Frank believes in Earl Spence?
I would say yes.
All right. So, can you see a world where Spence calls Frank and says, "Yo," I mean like this. I mean literally like this. Like, "Yo, I got you a title fight with Shakur for M. We gonna get you the details. You want it?"
Bullshit. Bullshit. You don't have to do that, bro. It's been mandated. It's going to purse bid. So whether or not Shakur wants to fight him or not, it's going to happen. And my thing is, let's just say you want to declare M. Cool. Let's get 1 point. Let me get 1.5 so I can clear my M. I'm perfectly fine with that. Why cancel the fucking purse bid? Why not allow that thing to go to purse bid?
Who
Your
gonna
team
bid?
knows what number you want.
But who gonna
Your team
bid?
knows what number you want.
But who gonna
Go ahead, man.
bid? Who gonna bid,
Huh?
Brandon? Who is
What
going
you
to
say?
who is going to bid on behalf of Frank Martin?
TGB. TGB. So basically, you're saying TGB, Errol Spence, and PBC aren't that invested in Frank Martin, so they were going to sell off him to Top Rank because they're not going to be willing to put a bid in to match the number that he wants. So they expect another team to match his
Let
number.
me ask you
That's pretty
something.
much what you're
Let
saying
me
at this
ask you
point.
something. Who's had more TV fights with PBC, Frank Martin or Felix Diaz?
Felix Diaz, damn man, you gonna make me think about that. I ain't seen Felix Diaz fight in fucking 10 years. I don't remember shit.
That's
I
the
don't know.
answer though. But that's the answer. Felix Diaz.
Why
Who
you hold on, you still let's have a conversation. You gonna
Yeah,
cut me off?
we having one. We
Let's go
having one.
ahead.
We having one. That's the answer. The answer is Felix Diaz. The answer is John Molina. The answer is you're correct. They are more invested in the names we just mentioned. If they weren't, they would have never canceled the purse bid. They would have never canceled the
Exactly.
purse bid. It's not about Frank though. They knew they was never gonna bid on that fight. You feel me?
Okay,
Like,
so Frank,
as a business,
so
why would you bid on a Shakur fight if you don't think your fighter could beat him? You gotta think Tank could beat him. So then, yeah, I'm a bid because I think Tank could beat him. Tank will knock him out. That's how his team thinking. But Frank is a tougher fight. So it's like we about to overbid to pay Shakur what he's normally paid because we gotta go into this purse bid situation knowing that Top Rank knows what Shakur makes already. So they already coming with 4 million. So now we got to come with more than that because we got to win that. And then we going to lose the fight because Frank can't beat him? Man, you bumped your head. What kind of business is that? That ain't business. Listen, I'm not playing Frank out, but everybody knows Shakur was the favorite. Frank had to upset the bookies. Like, I'm not making this shit up. So why am I go to purse
yeah,
bid? You not even a favorite with the bookies. I'm about to break my bank and bid 5 million because I got to bid over the 4 that Top Rank is gonna put out because they know Shakur making 3. We got to give him 1. How the fuck they going to purse bid? Yo, Darrell and DeGale, gold
you
medalists.
making my point. I'm listening, but you're making my point. I'm listening.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just saying I still see a word where Earl called him and said, because Earl's his promoter, not TGB. So I still see a word where Earl hit him up and said, yo, we ain't got to go to purse bid. They're going to give you $1 million and you get to fight Shakur for the
Well,
belt.
hold on, Ness. When they announced the purse bid, they said TGB will be putting the bid in on Frank Martin's behalf. So
Bruh, come
I
on.
can't say that TGB isn't his promoter.
Homie, that's all posturing. Yeah, and that's what I said when I told you that my sources said he ain't know everybody was gonna cut. So you said it. TGB was putting a bid on behalf of him. They also negotiating on behalf of them. They want they cut. Man down promotes him. He want his cut. And don't forget
I
Derek.
agree.
That's another cut. Oh yeah, and then my man Uncle Sam, 37% of a cut. Yeah, let me get that. I mean, listen, the numbers ain't add up. I get them. Walk away. Fuck it.
I understand walk away if you can't get your 1.5, but I would be more mad at my team. My team didn't have enough confidence in me
Nah,
to
nah,
put up
nah,
a
nah,
bid.
nah,
And keep in
nah,
mind, Ness, I
nah,
read the
nah.
rules.
Mm-mm.
And a purse bid. Listen, Ness, hold on. Let me break this down to you. In a purse bid situation, the split is 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have got his 50-50 if his team would have put the bid up for him. And
Bruh.
they could have put a bid up to see that he got his 1.5. They just didn't think he was worth 1.5. I would be mad as fuck
Exactly,
at
but
my team.
it's not about him being worth 1.5. They also thought Shakur ain't worth 4 million. How they gonna make that 4 million back?
Flip the script, Ness. Let's say we put up a bid of 5 million. And
Uh-huh.
top rank puts up a bid about 4 million.
Uh-huh.
If I win that bid, the fighters get 2.5 each.
Uh-huh.
If Shakur don't like that 2.5, he gotta back the fuck out. And now he's looking like the duck in the court of public opinion, not me. So
Okay,
that's what I'm
but the
saying.
difference is this. The difference is this. Frank ain't Devin. This ain't undisputed. Shakur know for a fact he could beat Frank. He would have took it. He would have took it.
He would have
That
took
ain't
it.
the
You're
big
saying
fight.
he would have
That ain't,
took
yeah,
it.
because the Devin.
PBC would have felt like they overbid and they fighter would have got whipped and they left with nothing. I get it.
No, PBC would have backed out anyway. They would have rather lost their deposit. That's what I'm trying to tell you, my brother. How you gonna make $5 million back? I'd rather give the deposit. Remember, I don't gotta pay that $5 million up front. It's a deposit once I win the purse bid. I think it's like 25% or some shit like that. Look it up.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so take the deposit. Fuck that fight. Bruh, man, get out of here. Ain't nobody losing money for nobody. But listen, we got other people. We gonna see what
That's
they
it. That's
say.
but take my call, man. Frank, be mad at your team, brother.
Can't be mad at his team, man. Listen. He wasn't never in this situation. You already called him a 30-year-old prospect. So what do it matter? And this why he ain't take the fight, because he see so many people y'all tight about it. So he feel like, yeah, I'm bigger than what I thought I was. They really want this fight. If I get a strap, this fight even bigger. That's how he looking at it. Let's see what CYP lies with this, unless he's starting up his own conversation.
Yo.
First
off, shout out to Queens of the Ring. You know what I'm saying? They always holding it down. Nick J, Foxiana. Those my ladies always hold it down. They one of a kind in this boxing game. One of a kind. Stand strong and really, really, really love boxing. Unlike a lot of other women who just love whatever sport the men like. You know what I'm saying? They really fuck with it. So shout out to them. I always say, man, if you close to 30 years old and you get the opportunity to fight a superstar, a star, whatever it might be, you pretty much need to take that. Like you don't have time to be passing up playing games possible. You don't really have time for none of that. I don't give a shit who's advising you. You need to advise yourself. Don't let nobody else who already rich and got money and doing the things you want to do advise you to take the route that they would take. No, 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 no. You don't do what they would do. You do what they would do if they was in your position. There's a big difference. Do what they would do if they was in your position, not what they would do now. That's gonna be my advice on that. Secondly, I hate to say it, you know what I'm saying, but of course I was rooting for Joe Joyce because he was he lay weight trained. I root for every fighter they have, but we got to take this back a couple of years where people was believing in Joe Joyce, they was believing in Dillian White, they was believing in Dubois, they was believing in AJ, they was believing in all them UK fighters and putting all the American fighters down. I remember those times. And, I'm starting to look back. CYP Discovery just found out that all them niggas have been knocked out. All of them have been knocked out. All the years. Put them up, put them up, put them up. Just like y'all used to fight in the Queensberry Rouge. Y'all getting y'all asses Queensberry whooped. I just find it funny that y'all always talking, but y'all silent as hell. With Joe Joy getting his ass knocked out again by a 40-year-old. Coincidental. A 40-year-old puts another UK nigga on his ass. Interesting. Pavetskin 40-year-old ass bomb. Dillian White. Vlad 40-year-old bomb. AJ. Joe Joyce, Zhang's 40-year-old ass bomb. Joe Joyce. I just find that fucking hilarious. Now go ahead, get in the chat, talk about Tyson Fury, one of the greatest fucking boxers of all time, beating Wilder. Talk about it. Talk about it. That's the only thing you motherfuckers ever gonna have. And the truth is, CYP Discovery found out something else. Tyson Fury is actually Irish gypsy. He's actually Irish gypsy. If you look up his bio, he's not even a Brit. To be low key, high key honest. I found that out. So y'all can keep claiming that dude all you want to. All you want to, because he's all you got, all of you. And last thing, remember CYP told y'all last week, don't be so hyped on Colorado because the teams they beat weren't actually that good of teams. And you have to blow out teams like that to really be on, not barely squeak by them. This is no slander on the Colorado, but please listen to a man who's an expert in these sports. CYP out.
All right, appreciate it. Elohim.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yep.
What's going on, Ness? Good morning to y'all. Shout out PBB. I wanted to speak on the whole little Frank Martin Shakur thing, man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like both of them boys, they got a lot of people in their pockets on both sides of their teams. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really get mad at Frank. Actually, it was probably a good move on him and his team. You know what I'm saying? To back out the fight. I don't think that he didn't want the fight because I don't think he would have let it get that far in the negotiations to agreeing and all that stuff if he didn't really want to fight him. I just don't even see what you get out of all that. It really just don't even make no sense to me. Um, you know what I'm saying? As far as like the purse bids and stuff, however that go, like I seen the interview, he said that, you know what I'm saying, he thought that he would have received more if he didn't let it go to purse bid. I don't really know how that worked too much. I ain't gonna get on here like everybody else and just act like I'm some type of expert with contracts and boxing negotiations and shit like that. Like niggas be killing me with all that shit. Niggas ain't even not had a fucking amateur fight for free. And all of a sudden, everybody contract experts and all that shit. That shit be blowing me. But like, I think that you know what I'm saying. On either sides, it was probably better. Like, it was just kind of weird to me how like the fight fell apart, and then all of a sudden, the very next day, it's like, all right, Edwin De Los Santos said the fight confirmed and the fight on. Like, I don't even know if negotiations really happened
Bruh,
and work
you know
that
why
work.
everybody surprised by that?
Just me, like
But
I
how
said, I
many of
don't
us,
know
let me
how.
ask you this. Did you ever sit, how old are you?
I'm 28.
Oh, damn, you younger. I was going to say, man, maybe you still did it. Did we, how many of us watched the Tyson fight and said, and I'll take $1 million to get for that, you know, to get knocked out by Mike. You feel me? Like, that's what Edwin De Los
Yeah.
Santos did. Like, oh, he don't want $1 million? Man, give me that shit. I'm from a third world country. Let me tell you what $1 million in Dominican Republic is.
Oh nah, I know it's
$55
crazy.
is $1 American. So every American dollar, he gets 55 times that amount in his country. He about to build the biggest, baddest mansion in DR with that one check. I promise you. That's how we think as Dominicans. We immediately think in cement and blocks. We immediately think about building on our parents' land. Man, that man took that. I told motherfuckers, I said, look, there's two Dominicans after Frank, Jermaine and Edwin. Them motherfuckers taking that. People talking about, oh, why it happened so quick? Because the motherfuckers need money. They ain't playing.
Nah, I feel that, but I'm just saying as far as shit getting finalized and through, like everything get, you know what I'm saying, confirmed and everything. I
I
ain't know
told
shit
you,
happened that quick.
I talked to Edwin
Like,
De Los
I ain't gonna.
Santos trainer. He told me they waiting on the offer and they taking it. I knew it. I told y'all. I mean, bro, $1 million is $1 million. I know Frank's saying what he's saying, but Edwin probably ain't got all them people in his pockets. But it's still gonna be the
Yeah, nah,
same
that's a
amount.
fact.
It's still the same amount of people. Like Edwin still got Sampson. He still got his trainer. And we don't know his stance with Al. Just the same thing with Frank. Frank still got his trainer, still got man down, and then he do got TGB. So that is a third person on Frank already. But I gotta go, man. That was the
Yeah,
bell. Elohim.
my
Suleiman. Oh shit, Suleiman. I'm sorry, Suleiman. It's not your time. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. It's not your time. I gotta get to this counterpunch. I'm 2 calls late on this, Trees. Solo Dolo, Scarface, no Manolo. You already know.
What up, though? What up, though? Hey, man, listen. Like Buddy said, I'm no politician. I don't know shit about these motherfucking rules with the purses and all this. I don't know nothing about that. All I know is about blowing grams and throwing hands. You feel me? And all I know is that Frank felt like shit. The money wasn't right. Shit, I ain't really trying to fight. It's me. And then I ain't gonna hold you. From when all this shit got set off, it was borderline on some. The fight was borderline unbelievable anyway, so I ain't really like too surprised if the shit not gonna shake out. I'm just saying, like, not to be cynical, but it was a lot of shit going on. You feel me? It was like you always hit. It's across the street. These are two bigger names. They're two guys higher ranked. You feel me? When the fuck do boxing ever give us something like that? Like, come on, man. I'm just being real. Like, God, we don't ever get two motherfuckers who really ready to fight. Man, that shit don't ever shake, bro. I'm just saying, we got to be realistic about this shit. And I feel like we was really trying to, like, we really wanted to fight because the Bud and Spence shit had just happened. Am I crazy for thinking that, Ness, that was a factor on this fight? Like, we were trying to ride the coattails.
The Earl Spence itself is the factor. Earl being involved with Frank made Frank more popular, made this fight more of a fight.
And then I'm saying the fact that we know Shakur is Terrence. That's little homie for Terrence too. You see what I'm saying? So that was an extra factor.
ESPN did that. I'm at the screen share that. Remember they put them both side by side, hugging each other. I'll show it in a bit.
I'm saying even as hardcores, we was thinking that shit too though. In the back of our minds, we was on some okay then the big homie fought, not the little homie finna get it. And it was like low key fresh after they had just fought, so it was like okay, it's making sense. It's lining up, but it's like, but we knew, man. We knew that shit was a little too good to be true. If we been real with ourselves as boxing fans, we don't get treated that well with this shit, man. We knew it was a little too good to be true.
I mean, we've been having an amazing year. I don't think it was too good to be true. I think it was right on par with an amazing year, and we'd have been like, damn, look, the year just keep getting better and better. But here go the picture right here. But you can
I'm
talk.
with you, Ness, but it's like you say, we having a hell of a year. We having a hell of a year as it is. It's like, damn, they gonna keep. That's like with the Anthony Joshua and the Wilder shit. Like I'm not getting my hopes too high on that shit for the end of that shit. I know that shit's slow.
Right, and ESPN posted the rivalry keeps going. #Shakur Martin. Bro, there's no way PBC could have took another loss. Bro, the whole squad would have squad up. The whole squad would have lost, bro. Stop, man.
That's funny. Hey, they would have sent Frank Martin out there with a PBC chain or something. You feel me?
Bruh.
Let him represent for the gang.
He would have had the man down chain after the fight.
This shit's funny, man. But it's like, I don't know, man. I know Fat somewhere like damn, Frank, you let me down, G. I know Fat somewhere like, what the fuck, Frank? And then I know he don't went and watch the interview. I'm sure he like, this motherfucker talking in circles got me looking bad out here. Look, I believe it. I know Fat's going through it. It's okay, bro. It's okay. He might be here surprise us or someone turn around with a tank fight. But if he wind up with a tank fight, nobody on the call can blame him. Am I crazy about that? If he get a tank fight,
man, he ain't getting no tank fight. Tank team out here talking about tank team out here talking about they about to shock the world with the next opponent. How the fuck are they gonna shock us with Frank?
Hey, but hold on. I'm hearing about Tank and Keith Thurman. What the fuck going on with that? Is that shit not? That shit, hold on. You thinking about that?
Floyd said it's fake news.
Oh, okay. Well, I ain't gonna hold you. That shocked the world. I don't know if Keith gonna come down to what he talking about, 143 or some shit like that is what I read. I don't know.
Feel like it's your
I
time.
don't know how true this shit is.
But
Hey,
it's
and one
not your
more
time.
question, Ness. Did Albert Bell? I feel like Albert Bell canceled his date on October 7th. You feel me? I know you know more. I know he keep in touch with you, fellas.
Oh
I know you
shit.
talk
Let
to
me
his promoter
find
and
out
all this
what's
shit.
up. Why you say he canceled?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you feel me?
Let me see.
Like
Send
heard
me
me
what
on
you
here
seen.
screaming October 7th. Go ahead.
I said send me what you seen.
Okay, but I seen it on the box rec at first, and then I seen it on here. I haven't seen him promoting it. At first, he was promoting the fight October 7th on this Instagram, and then on the box rec it had a date for October 7th, but now that date has
I'll let you
changed
know. I just hit
to a
him up.
November 11th.
I hit up his team.
Okay.
Let me get to somebody else. You still got your free call. We got Suleiman. You ready? Rock steady.
So yeah, yeah, you know, the guy's cost of living must have been astronomically high that he didn't want to take that purse, man. Because I'm saying like a lot of guys will take that purse, man. There's a lot of guys like you like right now, like that young boy right that fought this weekend, bro. He fought an excellent fight. He shut out that guy. He whitewashed him. How much you think his purse was? It was no $1,000,000.
Who?
And he's
Richardson
the top third.
Hitchens?
Yeah, Richardson Hitchens. He's the third man in the rank number 3 in the division at 140. And I guarantee you he didn't get no $1,000,000. And he got 4 belts, 4 regional belts.
I agree
He's
with you,
top
man.
3 in the division. You know what I'm saying? So this guy should have took that fight, man. I think it's just an excuse. I don't think he doesn't have positive image on himself. I think he's too scared. They're scared of Shakur, bro. So they start crying about the money because they don't want the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I guarantee you, like look at these other guys, bro. They jumped at it, bro. They jumped at it, bro. That's money right there. That's career changing money. And you could have a loss, and if you perform good in that loss, you're still a marketable opponent. You still build up your brand. You know what I'm saying? These guys think that a loss like if you get a loss like Joe Joyce, you hurt your brand. But if you get a loss like you're competitive, you go the distance, you know, it's a back and forth. I think that doesn't hurt your brand. But the Joe Joyce brand, that loss that hurt his brand, man. I think he should hang up the gloves, bro.
Nah,
That's a
man.
career.
Knock it off.
No,
Knock it
that was
off.
that was a devastating loss, man.
Knock
Joe
it
Joyce got a
off, bro.
devastating loss. Okay, well, you know, hey, we'll knock it off, man. We follow your instructions, your show.
I'm just
Thanks a
saying,
lot for having me on.
listen. Retirement. I'm just saying, why retirement? We said that about AJ. We see he didn't need to retire. We said that about Wilder. We see he didn't need to retire. Like what? You know, we should learn to
But this
stop
guy got
calling
put
for
down in 3
retirement.
rounds. He got put down in 3 rounds, man. I mean, the guy got put down in 3 rounds, and that was a hard knockout loss, bro. And he has scar tissue from the amateurs. He doesn't know how to slip punches. Everybody was hyping him up that he was juggernaut, that he could take shots. And now the greatest thing that he had was his chin. His chin is not there no more. So he's gonna become a journeyman. Or a tune-up, you know, like I think he was a great fighter. He did a lot of things as a pro. I think he should just be a gentleman and just just move on to bigger and better things other than fighting. He could become a trainer. He could become a talk show host. He could become a promoter, a manager. There's other things in the sport that he could do, but I think prize fighting for him, he's done, man.
Damn.
Because he's gonna get a lot
What?
of L's, man.
What?
I'm just being
So
honest,
he's
man.
not good. I mean, Johnny Rice got 6 losses, bro. How many
Yeah,
losses
but
Mahmoud
Johnny Rice,
Char got?
yeah, but Johnny Rice and Mahmoud Shah didn't get stunned like that in 3 rounds, man. That guy put him away hard, bro. That was a hard knockout. That guy couldn't even get up, bro. He couldn't even get up.
It's the heavyweight division, bro. They all go down hard. You tell me Wilder didn't go down hard? What the fuck? Bro, I don't know. I mean, I'm just over this whole retirement shit. I'm over the retirement shit. Like, every time somebody lose, we asking for them to retire and shit. And then we see we was wrong. They come back and they, you know what I mean? They do their thing. C-Dub, what up? Yo, Treese. They moved the card to November 11th, and Thomas Matisse is the co-main. C-Dub, what up, man? Twitter playing with you?
Yo, how the audio?
Straight.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate you coming back to me. Shout out TBV, smash that like button. It's free. Do something with yourself. Shout out to the back call. Shout out to the boxing pick'em league. You know, please, this for all the people that think they know boxing, man. Don't come for my boxing knowledge if you ain't won the pick'em league not one time. I just want to tell you, man. I took a little hiatus. You know, I let everybody else have shine. Now, surprise, surprise, the king is back. Shout out Box Rec Star System and Ranking System. Great when the knowledge and the Box Rec research come together. Thanks, Vega, holding it down at the fight, getting the content in the league. You know, the cash app is open. Okay, next, man. You know, hardcore is no boxing politics. They might not like it, but it's too present in everyday boxing for you to ignore. One ignores it because they don't like it. When following the plan, it don't make sense all the time, but it's the plan. I believe Frank has a plan. You know, when Wilder got 20 million to fight Brazil, Showtime and PBC, they knew it was a loss, but guess what? It was for the plan down the road. When Era said, "I'm gonna get all the belts on this side, then go for the belts outside," that's the plan set forth by the handlers.
Oof.
You're not
I
you're not
like how
going
you
against
preaching.
you're not going against them because they guiding you thus far. They have guided you up until this point. So why would you bite the hand that feeds you now? Now Tank is right there
But
in
but
house.
but wait a minute. But wait a minute.
Okay,
You earned yourself free time. Those
let's go.
handlers are the ones that brought him the deal.
Yeah. Then Frank looked
So
at it and
so
he
is
had
it the handlers or is it Frank that said, "Hold up, handlers, I don't think I like your plan."
maybe Frank had to reestablish the plan. Like, hold up, maybe,
He said, "Hold up, why you sending me down
maybe.
that top rank road?"
Yeah, I see Tank right here. I see the WBA belt right here. I see I see it's a few options. I maybe could get maybe you all can work out the winner of Loma and Cambosa. I'm close in their rankings as well. I can get Rolly. It's just many options
Wait.
on that side.
Broly injured and at 40.
Right. No, I can see one fight and then a Tank. If you don't get the Tank within the year, it's all bad. It's all bad. That's
So
that's
so
just it.
so
Then you can hindsight 2020.
basically you saying Tank big enough for people to duck until they get that fight.
Especially if you one fight away. That's the Canelo effect. We're gonna imagine like we don't know what Charlo and Andrade and all these dudes and what they've been doing all this time. They've been waiting, getting the fight to make it to the Canelo fight, to make it to the face of boxing fight, which Tank is the next face. I mean, I haven't been watching this all my life, but you know, I've been watching it enough to know this hardcore shit, statue shit. You know what I'm saying? And shame for dude saying that dude gonna need to retire, man. Why he can't become a journeyman? Why we
Word.
can't get why we the sport needs journeymen to lift up
We
younger
need somebody
fighters.
for Jared to fight.
Yeah, you need journeymen to lift up younger fighters
And I
to
think
put down the
Gerald
ladder.
Miller
Yeah,
and Joe Joyce still a great fight.
exactly. It's still, I mean, Joseph. Joe Joyce and Wilder. Let's see it.
No,
You
no,
know what
no,
I'm
no.
saying?
Stop. I see what you're doing. Stop swerving.
Let's see
It's
it.
China Power versus Alabama Power. It's the Alabama Slammer versus the motherfucking COVID machine. Stop the bullshit.
Man, yo, we need that too, and we need to make that as soon as possible because you know the world, like you said, the climate. We don't know what's gonna happen soon. You
Word.
know, they looking like they may go to Taiwan, looking like we may have to go over there and do something else. You know, we started this nuke shit, so I mean, but yeah, man, that's what's wrong with the sport and UFC too. It's becoming like the journeyman, and people don't want people to become journeymen. They want to retire and not put down the ladder for the younger fighters. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they can't. That's why they can't become the next big Floyd. That's why they
Yep.
can't become the next Nello because the older fighters.
Canelo fought all the
Floyd,
journeymen. Look, Canelo
is
fought Alfonso Gomez. He fought Shane
exactly.
Mosley. He got a bunch of old
Yeah,
journeymen on there to build his name. Love more Nadu. What's that
all
dude?
that.
That Mexican that he knocked out? Antonio Barrera, maybe?
Yep. Then you got Chop Corley. I mean, it's just or you continue making money to be near the top and keep making decent paychecks, man, for your career. There's nothing wrong with becoming a journeyman. You know, it's all good, man. Shout out to the boxing, man. Shout out to the best boxing. Yeah, so far, and it seems like it's going to get better. Seeing, we got Charlo and Canelo fight week. It just the best year in boxing, man. Shout out to boxing.
Word.
Yeah. Shout out to TBV. Smash that like button. It's free. Do something with yourself.
All right, all right, all right. Let's see who is next on the line. Actually, let me get to the super chats here. Looks like we last stopped off at Swift. And we got Super Star AT, $20. Best move for Frank to step out, fight, cause if he got outclassed, he gets shelved for the shortbread. He just have to destroy his next opponent to make up for this and have it be a good opponent like Ortiz or something. Which Ortiz is he talking about? What Ortiz is he talking about in the 35-pound division? Certainly ain't nobody in the top 10. Who are we talking about? Ortiz. Is he talking about Jermaine? I don't think Top Rank gonna send another fighter, do business with him with another fighter. He gonna have to get some PBC food to get that right. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let me see what is next. NH2 $2. Frank got all 4 of his fans calling in defending him. Y'all terrible. Jersey dude, welcome to that champ level. Damn, champ, why you gonna join today? You should have joined Friday, bruh. We gave out 5 hitters, a 5-team parlay. Man, that shit smoked the bookies. Specific methods too, man. Average boxing fan, $2. Mosley a journeyman for Canelo, so Linares for Haney. Yeah, why not? I mean, journeyman doesn't take away the fact that both of those guys were multiple division champs. It just takes away. It just is saying that they're not in their prime. They're not, currently holding a title or anything like that. But journeymen are needed, bro. That's the problem. These fans are too brutal. You guys don't understand the necessary development of a fighter. Like the fighter we just had on, like, did you see her fights? They had to groom her to get her to this point. Now she's ready. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody's path is the same. So, we might not like what Frank did, but this is what's right for Frank. I mean, none of us really have Frank as the A side, let alone the betting fucking favorite. Like, we knew who was the betting favorite, who was about to bet on Frank. Maybe you sprinkle something just in case he get the upset, but like, it's Shakur Stevenson we talking about. $10. The boxing streets are saying Joe Joyce and Dillian White are next. Or excuse me, the next Chisora. Laugh out loud emoji. Chisora. Look, if we talk about Joe Joyce retiring, come on, Joe Joyce, motherfucker Chisora need to retire before Joe Joyce. And I get it. Maybe Chisora, has he been knocked out like that I can remember? Yeah. David Hay, he smoked him the best. No one smoked Derek like David Hay did. And let me think of that second fight with Fury. How'd Fury do in that second fight? I don't remember. But that first fight went the distance with Derek and Fury. Vlad didn't even do him like I'm telling you, David Hay got the best win of all time on Derek Chisora. But long story short, he ain't even retired yet, man. Fuck out of here. Let Joyce fight on. Tell that man go take like 6 months in what's that shit? Marbella. Let him go chill over there or go back to Brazil, do some capoeira, and then come back rejuvenated, man. Fuck all that retirement talk. Bro, I'm telling you, Wilder fight was tougher. He had 3 tough fights. Like, whether you thought the Joyce knockout was more devastating, Wilder was in tougher fights with a bigger man that knows how to fight, and he out here ready to rock and roll. And y'all trying to boot people. Alex, what up?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, all right. Yeah, definitely want to give shout out to Queens of the Ring, Boxiana, for going ahead and locking down this interview because, we as fans, we as the people, we definitely wanted to hear from Frank. So it was nice to finally hear his perspective and how he felt. In regards to the things he said, I felt like he said, he may have been talking, but it just didn't feel like he was really saying anything. There wasn't much to it. I think the thing that stuck out most to me was him talking about him agreeing to the offer. And it made it seem like it was $1 million. However, once he kind of looked more at it, seeing after everything was deducted, it wasn't. I mean, my biggest question is, haven't you been paid before? Like when I go for a job, they're saying I'm getting paid, this much an hour, or let's say it's salaried. There are going to be taxes and insurance and benefits that you have to pay that come out. So I just don't understand where the mix up could have been, because no matter what, you're going to be told a certain figure, and that is going to be before taxes. So yeah, there's going to be deductions and all that. So it's bothering me because it just doesn't make much sense. And then people are saying, well, maybe he's going to get a Tank fight. Maybe it's going to be Tank. But the thing is, if you've been listening, they're saying Errol was good with this fight. They're saying Al Heyman was good with this fight, which means they're good with the offer. So it was just Frank that, once he saw everything broke down, just didn't want the fight anymore. For what is it? Is it the cuts, like you're saying, what was being deducted, all the extra people being paid? Remember, this is Top Rank that had constructed this contract. They're working with the people that are handling Frank Martin's career. So if Frank wants to be mad at somebody, someone may have mentioned it before, or be questioning, it's the people that were representing him in this. And if he didn't have his say in it, if he didn't have, enough influence on it, then that's something he has to look within himself. I think what I can understand him being upset is Shakur, the name calling, speaking so down on him. Because if you want to just look at for what has happened, Shakur had a similar deal in place when it came to this 25%. And he didn't like it for whatever his reasons. So why can't Frank Martin afford the same thing? Why can't he be unhappy when it came to the financials or the percentage? You can't tell someone else how they value themselves when they put a dollar sign on it. Now we can disagree with it, but if that's what they're saying, if that's what they believe within their
Yeah, but the
reason,
Shakur
then you have to.
the Shakur angle doesn't work for Frank because Shakur has the credentials, bro. You know,
Oh no,
so
I agree, and
so
also, and
to
not just that,
say
it's money generated. Shakur has put 10,000 people in
exactly,
seat.
so to say that
So
Shakur turned down a similar offer, it's similar, but it's not the same.
But that's why I said you got to strip it down. 25%. It's like, well, Haney just did a pay per view. You never done pay per view. Haney has 4 or 5 belts. You don't have any belts at this weight class. And I think Frank was I think you mentioned it actually. He was trying to do a bit of comparison to that when it came to Shakur and Haney and himself. It's like, this is a vacant title. This isn't a defense. A title defense. Personally, I wanted to see this fight. This was a good fight. Does Frank have the credentials as Shakur? No. But if you watch him fight, he's extremely athletic. You can see he's learning more and more, and you can see the potential of what he can be. If he's able to put it all together, he is already one of the better 135s. It's just, when you get a matchup like this is the opportunity to see Frank Martin. Are you going to be the guy to upset someone elite? Shakur is an elite fighter. I don't care if you say he's never done anything on 135. If you have eyes, if you know boxing, Shakur Stevenson is one of the best fighters on the planet. You had to take this opportunity, just like he had said in the previous interview. I can't remember what he said exactly, but he said, "Yo, you got to take your shot when given it." And
Yeah,
this was his shot. And
but
that's what's upsetting as a boxing fan. But like I said, man, if he didn't like how things were, I wish he would have spoken more on it specifically because I felt watching that interview, it wasn't dug deep enough. And I'm hoping he can maybe get another opportunity to speak with him, some platform. Hopefully, it is the best podcast in the world, the Boxing Voice. Because yeah, we need. I think to really clear this up, we need a bit more answers. And however it may come to be, I just hope it does. Because if you look at it, who is Frank Martin going to fight next? There's rumors. It seems like they've cooled down. Tank versus Esau Cruz. Edwin De Los Santos seems to be wanting to take this fight, which Shakur. I've had people like C Dub try to mention maybe you could take the IBF route. Look at those rankings. Lemos lost his number one spot because he missed weight and his fight was canceled. They removed him. Next, who's up? Kambosos and Lomachenko. If you listen, if you pay attention, Bob Arum has mentioned he wants to match Kambosos and Lomachenko. You have Keyshawn Davis moving up in the WBO rankings. I'm not sure if Frank is on those rankings. No, he's not in the IBF. He might be in the WBO. But there's guys in place. It's going to be tough for him. It's WBA or nothing, it seems, because the WBC route.
It's done.
Yo, why you mentioned it? Why didn't he go back to the WBC and said purse bid this? You know
Because your
why? He
team.
mentioned it in the interview with Queens of the Ring because he wasn't going to get paid what he could have got with this deal. So it's just like people were saying with Shakur. He put himself. It seemed like he thought he had leverage and he didn't. So what's Frank's leverage? It doesn't seem like there's much. But he says he's going to be back in December, and I'm not trying to put the man down. I'm just saying it's probably going to be a name we don't recognize or can't say, and it's a shame because I think Frank Martin. A lot of people believe that his last performance, it was lackluster. I didn't have it as competitive as people did. I think Artem did put up a good test. But yeah, I think he is a better fighter than what most people believe. It's just this was a chance to prove it, and now it doesn't look like we're getting it, nor anytime soon.
All right. I mean, I think you got to go back and listen to the interview. He certainly explained himself um, in reference to. Oh my God! It was towards the end of the interview. I can't remember exactly what you just said because this is why I like cutting off. But he can't. He can't on Discord. He is one way audio. Um. Fuck. Somebody remind me, man. Y'all just heard him. Damn it. But he certainly explained it in the towards the end of the interview, bro. It'll come to me and then I'll let you know. Why so serious? No? All right. Oh, there he goes. Trying you again.
Can you hear me, Ness?
Yep.
Good morning, man.
Morning.
Hey, brother, thanks for another show, man. You're doing your thing. We are appreciative of everything you do for the community.
Thank you.
Today's verse, Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. And if anybody know me, I'm all about peace, prosperity. So for all my workers, keep doing what you do. We salute you. Those on the road, please stay focused and safe, and just keep getting to the money, y'all. Um, that's all I got for y'all. So Ness, first I want to say, C Dub and Alex, man, y'all have really great calls, man, and it's guys like y'all that just makes this show so welcoming and easy to listen and understand. We have two ears and one mouth, and y'all gave us two earfuls. Between those two calls, man, I mean, it just pretty much summed up everything. So very good call, gentlemen, and thank you for always being a caller to the show. Y'all provide a lot of the show. Um, but Ness, I mean, I think the realness in you has come to the conclusion that Frank has ducked, but the position that you sit in, it's hard for you to just say that because of relationships. But you're a smart guy. It's pretty. The but I just think what it shows is like I've been on record saying that we need race in boxing, but not racist people. And I think Frank is a prime example of the community sticking behind him blindly. because Ness, riddle me this, and I know it's not on the exact same level, but you got YouTube saying, "Oh, Frank just asked for a little bump. You know, he got lawyer fees, he got doctor bills, he got a car note to pay, right?" But these same people made fun of AJ when he said 50 million ain't 50 million when you break it down. You got master fees, you got to pay Eddie, you got to pay Eddie's daddy, you got to pay the barber, you got to pay the lights. And when you get done paying all that, 50 million ain't 50 million. So now it's different because it's Frank and he's black. But when you go to the numbers, that little bump, shout out to
Wait, so
Caleb
AJ ain't
for doing
black?
the math. If Shakur is getting 4 and Frank was awarded 1 and he asked for quote unquote a bump of 250, 500,000, that's 37%, bro. But see, your favorite YouTuber ain't gonna, right? They're still stuck on Bud saying that he'd fight Earl at 154 after a victory, an emotional state, and he said possibly, right? So these are just, it's good for boxing, right? You got to have size, you got to have people sticking up for people, you got to have that. But I just hope that people can see through the bullshit. Like he ducked. And I just think that for these people, especially fighters who speak on other people's situation, let this be a lesson to just mind your own business. Because Frank put himself out there. Oh, Shakur should have took that deal. Shakur should have took that deal. I'll take that deal. Well, then you got reality smacked in your face and you turned the other cheek. And personally, I wouldn't be surprised if Earl dropped him or if it's more to come out of that camp because you reported that they weren't happy that he turned that
So
deal down.
so
And
that
one thing
hold on,
go
hold on,
ahead.
hold on, because that triggered the what I needed to remember for Alex, and he also cleared
You're
up the
welcome.
Earl thing. He cleared up that Derek is still Derek and it's still Man Down Promotions. That he don't know where
For
that
sure.
rumor came from, and then the other thing was fuck you just said it in fucking hell. Ah, this is hilarious. Oh my god.
Stop smoking weed. So I'll pick it up from here. So the reason why I feel like
Sad.
Earl may have an issue is because we all know one thing for sure. That man care about his paper. That's one thing that's been constant since he joined boxing. Money over everything. He got kids to feed. Frank took food out of his kid's mouth by turning down that deal. And I'm gonna have to piggyback off C Dub and Alex. One of the main reasons why I say this is a duck. And let me just say this for those who say, "Oh, we don't know contracts. We ain't in the business room." You're right, but I deal with contracts for a living, right? I've negotiated 200, 300 million dollar contract deals, multi-sourcing, brokerages, Incoterms. I done did it all. I done sat in the room. I done did all that shit. So I'm not about to sit here and say it's all the same, but I mean, there's some stuff that is the same, right? And from what I see when it comes to the litigations and the negotiation, he pulled out because he don't have faith in himself. He don't think the risk is worth the reward. That's clearly what he told us. And I mean, that's okay, but just be honest. You did duck. Don't say I didn't duck shit. No, you did duck by out negotiating yourself, by outpricing yourself. And I don't think Earl is happy about that.
I mean,
So,
what can you
and,
do?
and,
Only
and,
only one person gets in
what
the ring.
listen. I mean, but here's my thing. Like, don't talk that big shit if you're not willing to walk that walk, right?
Right.
Like,
That's
it's
it.
okay if you just say
That's it.
I'm not
That's it.
ready. I think the biggest issue in society is
That
people
was
just
it.
have a
That was
problem
it.
with
That was
stunting and
it. That
lying.
was it.
They want to
Yo.
make it seem like they're
Oh my
somebody
god.
they're not.
That was it. He brought it up in the end of the interview that everybody's taking his words and running with it, but they're not taking it in full context. When he said what he said, he was specifically discussing undisputed. So when he says every champ got to take a sacrifice, he talking about for that type of situation, not for a vacant title. He gave explanations. So that was for Alex Vega and obviously for you as well. But Alex had brought that up, like, oh, we need more clarity, and it's like, nah, he he's telling y'all. They asked him, both of the young ladies asked him about that interview and about his words, and he said, nah, they turning my words around basically. So, he addressed that. Just saying.
I'm calling. I'm calling horse manure. Am I on a counter punch or still my call where I'm at now?
Oh man, I forgot to hit the bell, bro.
All right, well, we won counter punch. So I'm calling horse manure for the simple fact that if that's the case, speaking on other people's situation, right? Like you know details you're going off of basically what we're going off for your situation. And now you want to backpedal. Just shut up, right? But
Nah,
I
nah,
just feel
because
like,
Devin Haney had
huh?
it like that. You know what I'm saying?
I,
So
I just
so he's entitled. Like Devin said, give me that Loma contract and I'll do it. And that's what they
but
did.
and
They
Devin
gave him the
stood on
Loma
his 10
contract.
toes.
But Frank ain't get the Devin contract. He ain't get the Shakur contract.
He did get a Shakur contract.
Not the
He turned
not
it down.
not the Shakur contract that Devin sent is what I'm saying. So it wasn't like Frank had the opportunity to be like, you know, what he turned down, give it to me, and I'll take it because that's what he was speaking on. Is all I'm saying. I'm just bringing it back to that. That you can't hold him
I,
to
and
his words when his words, the context of his words were the Devin Haney Shakur offer.
Listen, I'm gonna call horse manure. For one, it's an old saying that we tell kids, stay in the child's place. Stay in your place. That wasn't your place to speak on that because the son then signed on you. And then for your situation, you got a Shakur contract and you turned it down for more money, which is outside of what you would have been granted if it would have went to purse bid. Period, point blank. You have to take risks in this business. You have to. No risk, no reward. He
Calculated
clearly
risk. Calculated risk. This one was not calculated. When they did the calculations, he like, well, I ain't even making $1 million, and I gotta fight this monster. Nope.
but that's on him. That ignorance, and I'm glad you brought that up. That is on him. For him to come out, I think the most damaging thing he did was come out and say, "Oh, when you looked at the money, it wasn't really $1 million, bro." If you're because you're that ignorant, you're using that as an excuse. Go educate yourself. Why are you this far in your career and you don't know how the money is dispersed?
Champ,
That's
wait,
on
you
you.
can't have it both ways. He's ignorant for not knowing he would have got $1 million, but he's not smart for not taking it. But
No, no, that's not. Don't twist it, Ness. It's on him for
no,
not
I'm
knowing how
I'm
the
not
money. Like
twisting it.
Alex said,
I'm not
you
twisting
know
it. I'm
tactics.
saying you can't have it both ways. You can't call him ignorant for not knowing, right? Because he's obviously smart for not taking it.
No,
Why
no.
not?
I'm calling him
Why
ignorant for
not? He
saying the
wasn't
reason
gonna
why
get
he
a
turned
he
down the
wasn't gonna
money
get a
is because
million.
he didn't realize that $1 million wasn't $1 million after he paid the barber, washed his car, and got some new Jordans. That's on him.
Well, it ain't again, y'all interpreting it that way. You feel me? Y'all interpreting it that way. I keep using the phone call situation because I think that's the most realistic. These two guys are friends. Earl's not a real promoter. He's learning on the job. I could see Earl calling him, telling him, "I got, we was able to get you the core fight without having to go in a purse bid. You getting $1 million plus a WBC title shot." And he like, "Yeah, I
Okay.
want it. I want it."
Okay.
Because from one mouth to another, he's being told $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So he's thinking maybe my promoter cleared me $1 million, not I'm getting $1 million and we deducting everything out that $1 million. You feel me? That's simple
Then go
mistake.
that
Simple
then
mistake.
that's not a conversation you have with Shakur. Like you said, you go back and talk to Earl, and who knows? It could have been 900,000, and Earl rounded it up to $1 million. Who knows?
But
But that's not Shakur.
who said he didn't have that conversation with Earl, and who said he had it with Shakur? Where he said he had the conversation with Shakur? They had DMs and that's it. What we
Yeah,
talking
well,
about?
that was the conversation. I guess they didn't get specifically into numbers, even though Shakur said they did. He just basically said, "I asked for more." So obviously, they talked about something around the numbers,
Yeah,
and
but
the more that he asked,
when he DM'd that, but Shakur told you $1 million worth of game. When he DM'd him, he told him what the pot was. He
right?
told him what the pot was. So obviously Frank is saying I want more. So that's when he knew how much he was getting. It's like, yo, you can't get no more than that $1 million. This is what the pot is.
Exactly, exactly. So he shouldn't agree to it off principle. Listen,
Bro,
at
you
the end of the day,
entitled
what,
to
what
do
this
that.
boils
He
down
didn't
to is
sign
these
it.
fighters want to sit back, play video games, think they can show up and box and have to ignore the business side of boxing. Then they want to tell the fans, you're not a manager, you're a fan, you're not a manager. Stop getting involved in the bit. But we know more than you do. You have to be a student of the game financially, sports science wise, and for your body. Like, it don't just start and stop with you showing up to the gym punching the bag. Those days are long and gone. And for any fighter who wants to ignore those things, your career will not go as far as it should, because you're not maximizing the opportunity. Boxing has to be reimagined. Either get down or lay down.
I hear you, man.
I got you on 2 counter punches.
All right. Trey, Omaha. Trey. You might have to jump out, jump back in. Trey. JP.
Hey, Ness, you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hey, so first of all, I always said the fight wouldn't happen because the profile of the fighters are too high based on what they would be able to generate. But there's also a notion in this that I just hate. I hate the notion of what you made last time, you're going to get paid more now, so you should accept it. I've been in many job interviews where they've asked me, well, how much were you making in your last position? I hate when an employer asks that question, because that question got nothing to do with the position I'm going to take for you. Ness, you're a businessman. You worked at the Win. Let's just say hypothetically, no technicalities involved. But if Caesar Palace calls up and says, "Hey Ness, we want you to come do some broadcasting from us," how much were you making at the Win? Not saying you were making anything, but how much was the Win paying you? What does that got to do with what you're about to do for this client? I hate that fucking notion of a man should take more. I do understand that there is risk and opportunity. That is but there's a crossroad there. Just because this could be your highest payday doesn't mean that you should just take it. You have to, it's risk and opportunity. Some of us are in positions in life where you could be offered a job that pays more, but you may consider the job that you're doing and the responsibilities that you have and your comfort level. You may say, hey, you know what, I'm going to pass on that. I'm comfortable here. I'm able to make a good living here. That seems like it might be strenuous. Or then there's times where you do that to raise your profile. So I really hate that notion where people are standing on, oh, this would be his highest payday, he should do this or that. We've seen plenty of boxers turn down fights where it would be a high payday for them. So in my 30 plus years of watching boxing, I've rarely used the term duck. I don't think these dudes are afraid of another. I think there's risk and reward. And so, like I said from the beginning, I don't think Frank is ducking him. And I did think this fight was going to be hard to make. People want to downplay Frank and say, who is he? What has he won? Well, obviously, Frank is somebody, because he would have raised Shakur's profile. You have to be able to feed the beast. And so that's what the biggest charm in this was for, is to raise your course profile by putting
Knock it
a, a,
off. Knock it off. Knock it off. Everything was good till you said that, man. Frank is just another name on the list. Wasn't no raising of no profile. He wasn't even
why
first.
we
He wasn't even
how are we
first.
gonna
He wasn't even
are you
first,
gonna do
bro. He wasn't. Like, they literally sent offers to 3 people before Frank. Like, that's a bullshit ass like narrative. He was not no How do you raise someone's profile? You never won a world title.
Dog, you can't take world titles to the bank. I understand this
All right,
world title, the Olympian shit and all
cool,
that, but
cool.
that don't go to
No,
the
no,
bank.
no,
It's
no.
called intrigue.
Nah,
Ryan
cool,
Garcia, who hasn't won shit, who ain't been an Olympian, is able to generate the most money in that division in a lot of
Can I
boxing. He's
rebuttal?
one of he's able to bring the most intrigue without none of that shit of the belts, the Olympians, and all of that shit. It's called intrigue. And when we look at Frank Martin, our eye test says, yeah, that's the goods. And if Shakur beats that guy, we're going to consider him really the goods.
Man,
But when
stop,
Shakur beats De
man.
Los Santos, we're not going to say the same thing.
Stop,
Shakur
stop.
and Frank Martin is a cusp. That fight is on the cusp of
Bro.
being like a pay-per-view fight.
What?
That's right.
Yo, I gotta go.
I
I was
think it.
trying to give you more time,
I
but you
think
out
it
of
is.
control. No way, bro. No way. No fucking way. Bro, dude ain't win a world title. He never headlined. Like, that was his first headline with Artem. Like, I mean, you making this case for him to be in this value, and he's feeding into that shit. In that interview, you can tell. He like, yeah, the fight bigger. Maybe when I get a title. How, Sway? How you gonna get a title? How? I don't even gotta look at the rankings, bro. WBO, what Bob orders. You ain't in the IBF. You gave up your shot at WBC, and Tink ain't losing. So what is we talking about here? Making all these weird ass excuses and just lying about value? Listen, I'm with you on what you made and the whole, you know, them not having to ask, but at the same time, they asking because they want to know your value. They want to know your value. And everybody's been in them damn interviews, and we all lie. Don't nobody really say what we was making in the last job. Ain't none of your business. So when they ask you, you always add more because you know exactly what they doing. So two could play that game. Two could play that game. I don't know, man. Frank has value, but he ain't adding nothing to Shakur's profile. He don't even bring what Concial brings to Shakur's profile. When we go down Shakur's resume and we say Robinson Concial, we say go fucking medalist. At the very least. What are we going to say about Frank? So y'all got to stop this shit. Y'all got to stop lying, man. Because y'all got him believing this shit. Just because we was interested in the fight. You talking about, this man said pay-per-view. He said on the cusp of being a pay-per-view. You out your fucking mind. You understand? Out your fucking mind to set the bar that low, to stand it that low in that man's mind where you could beat Artem, whoever the fuck, and get a pay-per-view fight, man. Get the fuck out of here, bro. SDX, what's up?
Good morning, Ness. Good morning, man. I appreciate you again.
That's crazy.
What you
JP, you out of control. I
do?
can't believe he's on the cusp of a pay-per-view. Holy shit. We'll pay for anything then. SDX, you there or you breaking up? Yep.
They have been asking what I was making before. So I don't like that shit either, but I'll say this on this topic, man. Ness, you kind of got me even backpedaling on how I felt about Shakur not taking the 25%. And I really didn't get what you were saying in the beginning about the 5 belts compared to the 1 belt. But now that Frank been put in this position for the 1 belt, I'm still even looking at Frank like, nah, fuck that, because of the 1 belt could have put you in position. The 1 belt, just say we going into this looking at the 1 belt as not enough, or even the money as not being enough. But that's only if you lose. If you lose, if you fucking win and you upset Shakur and become the WBC champion,
But champ, you just
like,
said it. You just said it upset. You just said it
yeah.
upset, bro. So he told you, I'm not going into the biggest fight of my life with the back of my mind.
Believing that I'm going to win.
But he can't even start to believe he gonna win because he don't like the money.
Yeah, he don't. Nah, but I'm like, nah, fuck shit. Cause like we said though, the facts of the matter is, if I think I can win, then we talking about where my career go after I win. That's just me from a wannabe fighter or a sometime fighter perspective. If I get that opportunity laid out in front of me, I'm looking at, boy, this shit like the lottery. If I go in there and I upset Shakur, this the Andy Ruiz, this that, you feel me? Like
You
this
gotta
that George
upset him,
Kambosos where I
bruh.
kind of put myself in a position.
Shakur, not AJ. You talking about this Andy
Okay.
Ruiz? I don't know, man. It's gonna be it's a tough task, man.
So you saying straight up, Ness, Frank genuinely doesn't even believe that he got a fucking chance.
Bruh, I don't even care what Frank believes. I'm talking about us as boxing fans, man. We've said it here for the last 3 years. The dudes that's gonna beat each other is Devin, Shakur, and Tank. We never said Frank. He got to prove that.
Man, I done heard some days they didn't give him some calls. Somebody believe in Frank, man. And if they believe in Frank and he don't believe in his damn self to at least take the opportunity, then that's a fight already lost.
It ain't the right time, man. It wasn't the right time. We all knew that. We talked about it. Like, how you about to fight Shakur in November? You got Earl doing what he doing,
You may feel like
AJ
it's your
doing what
time,
he doing, Jamel
but
doing
it's
what he
not.
Appreciate you,
doing.
Ness. That's my call.
It just wasn't the right time, y'all. It just wasn't the right time. Maybe that fight could revisit itself. Maybe it don't. Could he had took it? Hell yeah. But truthfully speaking, it wasn't the right time. How? Motherfucking Derek is busy right now with Jamel. You know? And yeah, that fight is Saturday, but we don't know what's going on with AJ Wilder. Trey, trying you again.
Yo, I'm back. Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Man, can I just ask you something, Ness?
Yo.
Why are we speaking so highly of a guy who's just an undefeated fighter and it's just ranked? He's not a former world champion, has never been a world champion, does he have an interim belt? Like, who is this dude? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, why are we speaking so highly of Frank Martin when, like, he's not even like you said, a Conceição? You can't even compare this man to Oscar Valdez. You can't compare this man to. You can only compare him to like fucking contendership. Like, you can't compare him to somebody who has held a world title, been in a world title fight, or an interim title fight, or do you get what I'm saying? That's
I hear you.
yeah. So what is people problem? Like, I'm not trying to start a negative situation because I hate negativity. I don't spread that, but it's just like to shed light on the situation. Can we just say that this man has done nothing yet and that he needs to prove himself or why he should be in the like one of those top three? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, why he should be a top three guy? Because there's only three guys that we keep talking about, that everybody keeps talking about. Matter of fact, you get what I'm saying? So why? Like, just because you undefeated and you beat Artem, whatever the fuck, and who else? You get what I'm saying? You didn't beat who? Like Michael Riviera? Like, who was that? You get what I'm saying? He had a lookalike of a Muhammad Ali. Now he's good because he looks like somebody. No, like, come on, bro. Like, what is exactly, like, what is we talking about? You feel what I'm
He
saying? And
was
then
good
his
though. That was a good win for
okay,
Frank, yo. Michelle did his thing. He was doing his thing.
right, and
He got a
like you
couple
said, there's
wins
the word.
before that.
But what was your key word that you used in that sentence, Ness? Tell me the key word.
He was good. He did his thing.
He was. Was is the key word.
Well,
Was.
only
It's
because
not he is.
I'm saying he was because when Frank met him, Frank defeated him.
Right. Right.
But
But
let's
I'm
not
just
let's
saying.
not act like Michelle Rivera wasn't mentioned with Tank numerous occasions.
Oh yeah. But I'm saying, Michelle, that's the only credential win we can really talk about when it comes to Frank Martin. But when we
Nah,
talk
he
about
got the
Shakur,
Jackson Martinez win too. Remember that Jackson really beat
Oh yeah,
Rolly.
Jackson fought Rolly.
Yeah.
Yep, Jackson. Yeah, Jackson. But Jackson beat
He
Rolly
got
to me.
3
Like,
wins. He got 3 wins. The Artem, the Marinez, the Romero Duno, and the Michelle Rivera.
yeah, but like, see, that's what I'm saying though. Those 3 wins are who are these guys? Those
It's
3
4.
wins are
It's
like
4 of them.
are four
I mean,
wins
you
is
got.
who are these guys?
I throw in Ryan Kozletsky too. That motherfucker tough. He just ain't got no power, but he could box. Like he could
Yeah,
really
hey,
box.
hey, hey, and I don't mean to keep talking or nothing, but I was gonna say Ryan Kazeski. Yeah, you could say that because he don't got power, but he is a good fighter. I know who that is. He is a
Yeah,
good fighter.
he like
Yeah,
from
but hey,
Massachusetts area somewhere, but he's decent. He fought a
hell yeah,
couple of
but
names too. Go ahead.
Hey, TBV, shout out, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit that Patreon, do what y'all gotta do, man. TBV up, man. And I just want to say one more thing. Let's stop this speaking of guys who haven't done nothing yet. You get what I'm saying? Like let's talk about guys who have done something and have a name because it's obvious. Like we're sitting here going back and forth with Ness about a guy who does not have a name. Like we are all agreeing with
He
each other.
got a
So
name. He ain't got the credentials. He got the name. You can't deny he got. Yo, Earl gave him that name. But let me get to some other calls. But like
I got you, big bro. Got you, got you.
like being with the big fish rubbed off, and we know Frank. His fights might not have all been on TV, but they all been PBC fights outside of when he was fighting in them club shows. Once he got with Earl, you know, it turned everything PBC shows. And, you know, you can't deny, you know, the wins that he does have, you know. The Ryan kid, no, he not a world beater, but he's a good boxer, the Polish Prince, man. I like that kid, man. I knew he was from Massachusetts. He's a decent kid. Gabriel Flores didn't knock him out, went 10 with him, got the win, though. So that was a decent win for Frank, you know. Then you got to give him credit for Romero Duno. Obviously, we only know Romero Duno for losing to Ryan Garcia. So you got to give him credit, right? Because Ryan did it in 1, Frank did it in 4. Like, it's a barometer there. Then he's got the Jackson Marinez fight, who we all, if you watch boxing, you knew Marinez beat Rolly. So when Frank beat him by knockout in the last round, it's like, oh, and you proved your power? Because you could knock him out late, okay. And then he gets Artem, which, you know, that was a tough fight, and he learned something in there, I believe. But we going out to Jay, New York City. What up? Jay in the 917, going once, 2 times. Double checking his number here. Certain say Jay in Bronx. All right. You must be busy. Rocky in the 954.
Hey, good morning, Ness. How are you?
Straight.
All right, man. Yo, on this Frank stuff, man, I don't think it's that complicated. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that he turned down a good deal. The only way it'll make sense to me is if PBC give him the Isaac Cruz fight. I think that's a big fight, and that'll be worth it for him because if he looks good, if he waxes him, he might get a tank fight. So, in that sense, if that's their plan, then it makes sense. If not, I don't see how you can justify him turning down that high-profile Shakur fight. But also wanted to touch on the fights
What about just
over the
not
weekend.
being ready? No one is saying that. Maybe he's not ready.
Ready for who? For Shakur?
Yeah. I mean, I could be ready
Yeah,
for a title shot, just not with Shakur.
I hear you on that, but I think it was Cliff, one of the callers earlier said, if you do lose to Shakur, it's not a bad loss. Like, he's not going to physically damage you too bad. You're going to get outboxed, maybe embarrassed, but it's a loss you can bounce back from, and nobody's gonna hold that over your head. I feel like a big opportunity like that, you just gotta take it, ready or not, sink or swim. But I mean, maybe his team, like I said, maybe they think like you think, like he's not ready. No, we'll keep him on this side, whatever. But the thing is with boxing is nothing is guaranteed, man. You can get injured, something can happen, and then you never get offered that big bag again. So
Word.
I feel like you got to take it while the money's there. You know what I'm saying? But real quick, I wanted to touch on the fights over the weekend in Orlando, man. I was privileged enough to go out there and check it out live, man. That's a nice little venue, small little intimate venue. Man, that kid Africa is good, man. I don't think he did himself any services by shutting Zepeda out that bad. It's gonna be tough to get somebody to fight that kid, man.
He gonna fight your
Like he's
peoples.
really the good.
He gonna fight your Puerto Rican
Who?
brethren.
Who? Shakur?
Nah, the other Puerto Rican, the one y'all don't talk about.
Oh, Matias? Nah, he ain't fighting Matias.
Why not?
I think he would. I think he would.
Bruh, he got strapped
think he
up in the
would.
IBF specifically for Matias. Power don't
Okay,
mean
well,
nothing
bring him
to a
on then. Bring
boxer,
him on.
man. Power don't mean nothing to a boxer. The only people that worry about power are the people that ain't got boxing skill. Because when you could box, look, Cepeda ain't land no punches, bruh.
I know, man.
Yo,
Look,
my man got zero
Africa style,
power,
he
and
fight.
Cepeda couldn't do nothing.
Hey, look, Africa fight like Shakur, man. They got a weird style where they stand right in front of you and make you miss. It's crazy.
And that's who he
but
learns
listen,
from. That's who he spars with.
I can see that, man. Well, Matias is ready for him, though. Don't worry about that. Look, Matias will put a pace on him and really, test him. But yeah, that's my call, Chance. Thank you for taking my call.
You got it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm picking Hitchinson over Matias. Obviously, I'm gonna be more confident when I go back and rewatch the first Jeremiah Ponce fight. But yeah, man. We got B Dog member for 31 months on that prospect level. He said if he asked for half, Shakur would have shared the DM. That's probably true. That's probably true. That's probably true. We got Dre Bogus, member for 2 months on that contender level. He says Top Rank and PBC have two different business models. When he heard 1 million, he was probably thinking take home money because that's what he is used to. Jersey Dude, member for 5 months, says, what up, TBV? Hope all is well. I wish I can make the upcoming fight party, but I can't make this one. I'm tuned in every day while driving at work. I'll catch you guys soon at the next fight party. Salute. Don't forget we got a fight party this Saturday for the Canelo and Charlo. It's going down. It's going to be epic. I got Optimus Prime. Second super chat. Another $10. Appreciate you, champ. I'm still in shock that dude saying the Shakur versus Martin fight going to be a pay-per-view fight. Now, he said it was on the cusp of being a pay-per-view. I mean, I don't know. Look, this is how they treat us in boxing. We're accustomed to like whatever being on pay-per-view at this point. William, what up?
Hey, Les, you can hear me?
Loud and clear. What up, Seattle?
Hey, man, I'm tired of people talking about, I'm tired of all these Shakur Stevenson fanboys, man. That Shakur ain't did nothing at 135. He only got one fight at 135. And they acting as if this dude is like a 135-pound champion. They fighting for a vacant title. You know what I mean? So, for Frank Martin, I like how Frank Martin explained himself on why he turned down the fight, because it makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? So, all these dudes, they hopping on the Shakur Stevenson bandwagon. They done forgot Shakur got beat up in the Olympics by Ramirez. They don't forgot about that. But yeah, man, I'm just tired of all these fanboys coming on here and talking bad about Frank Martin. Frank Martin didn't duck Shakur Stevenson. Okay, Frank Frank Martin, you know what I'm saying? He's being advised by the PBC and stuff. So, you know what I mean? I think it's smart what he did. You know what I mean? And you know, that's pretty much that's pretty much all I got.
All right. We got he great North Carolina.
Yes, I'm from the low country,
Oh
South
shit,
Carolina, then
shit.
low country.
Hey,
Low country.
my bad, champ. My bad.
Liz, I want to rebuttal on this time, Liz, because I
Can I
also don't
come right?
call
I
Liz.
gotta come right back to you, man. No disrespect at all. Brandon has a counterpunch, and I'm already late on that. He sent it at 8:14, which is 11:14 Eastern. So I do apologize. Don't let me forget to come back to Heat Great in South Carolina, not North. I always make that mistake. Brandon, what is up? Apologies.
Yo, Ness, I'm kind of mad because I wanted to go right after JP and that terrible call the big homie just spewed out.
Mm.
Before I cook him, so Shakur told your boy how much money was in the pot. Did he say the number that Shakur said was in the pot?
He never said the number. Cause then he used that to say, like, if he getting what he told me he getting, then what he got with what he was getting the 8 million for don't make sense. And that, so I don't know. That's what he said on the interview. You
I
can
think
hear it
you.
himself. Like he say what Shakur told him, but he never give the number.
My
But
thing is this,
I mean,
man.
everybody's saying
It
25%. So Shakur had to have gotten 3 million and he gets one.
I don't know if Frank wasn't privy to the information, but I said it earlier. I'm gonna say it again. In a situation like this, he's entitled to 50%. So let's say Shakur told him it was 4 million in the pot. You and your team let that shit go to purse. You get 2 million, and Shakur gets 2 million. I don't understand why they. I don't know. That's the first point. So if the 1.5 or 1 million wasn't enough, let that bitch go to purse bid. Top rank has to put up a bid big enough to make Shakur happy. They're not gonna underball it to the point where Shakur don't like the number he's getting. And you would have got 50% of four, or let's say 4 million, 5 million, even 3 million. Let's say the bid was only 3 million. You get the 1.5 you asked for because you're entitled to 50%. Just that simple. Two, this brother said this fight is on the cusp of being a pay-per-view. If this fight is on the cusp of being a pay-per-view, why the fuck doesn't PBC put a bid in on it and potentially have it on Showtime if this fight is that big in JP's ass to where it's a cusp of being a pay-per-view? It makes no sense.
None.
Bottom line is, man, they went down the list. They asked Isak Cruz, he said no. They asked Williams Zepeda, he said no. They asked Loma and the motherfucker from Australia and Cambosis, they said no. You were number 5 on the list. They didn't see you as valuable. They went down the list. 4 niggas said no, it was your turn. I look at it like this. PBC didn't even allow Isak Cruz to entertain this because they actually have a plan for Isak Cruz. So when Isak Cruz's name came up, they instantly said no deal. The fact that they were willing to send you over there, Frank, lets you know they really don't have a plan for you. They don't have a mapped out visual of what they see for your career. Because they have one for Isak. We're gonna put you on every pay-per-view, build it up, put you in there with Tank. So when the name came up for Isak, oh, they said, nah, we cool. But they was gonna send you over there on that dummy mission. Brother,
You
they
may
don't have a
feel like
plan for
it's
you,
your
brother.
time, but
That's
it's not
bottom
your
line.
time.
Your team failed you, brother. But that's my call, Ness.
Again, I don't think that's the truth. I think that his team didn't fail him. His team asked him, did he want the fight? He agreed, and they got him the best possible deal, and he just backed out. He didn't like the money. He didn't think it was the best deal. Uh, but it's not about not having a plan because that is the plan. A fighter's job is to be a world champion. Like that's what he's striving for, to become a world champion. So it's like, yo, you know what belt we got on our side, and you know how it goes. You know what I mean? Like you could get it or you can't get it. There's a belt over there, and it's actually the most prestigious one. Yeah, it's the green belt. So you know he gotta be willing to take that chance though. Um, I don't think they failed them. You feel me? Sometimes it makes sense. And when you getting paid 4 times the amount, it obviously makes sense. And that's why this is all strange, because if this didn't make sense, it would have never got to an actual offer, you know? So I don't know, man. Hopefully he gets a decent fight in December, like he said, because that will help. He great. We remembered.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, Liz, I want to rebuttal on this, but I want to rebuttal on this for you. I want to put a highlight on the fact that like we kind of getting we kind of getting this sense of like Frank Martin should be more like Ryan Garcia in a sense because he's starting later, and I believe people are looking at it like he should be the one taking these risky big fights no matter the odds because you already an underdog. You started like you're going to be an underdog no matter who you fight, win or loss. With people, I think the intrigue with Frank Martin is people is interested because you started late. We want to see you hop in the ring with these people that they say you can't beat, win or lose. I think that hurt his brand a little bit because the stories I've been hearing, been watching his fights, is how much dogs, how he got in them, how he started later and stuff. And I think we want more of a Ryan Garcia mentality with that, win or loss. I feel like he could have even benefited from the loss for the simple fact that he was like, hey, look, Shakur, I did start late, but you turned down Devin. I ain't turning you down. I thought I'm coming at you. I want the belt. I want this opportunity. I'm showing you I'm hungry because I did start. How people looking at him? You saying that's perception of him. But he want to be associated with all these names, all these greats, all these top level fighters by name and not by accent. Right now, that's how it's coming across to me. He wants the name and the money, but he don't want to take the risk. And the thing is, even if he loses and fight Shakur, every fighter he fight after that, he's gonna have that one up on him that I fought Shakur. Because not everybody Shakur delves in TO tank level. Not everybody that level. So every fighter you fight after that that's literally below that level, you literally have the leverage to say, hey, look, I already been in the ring with Shakur. I already got a meal from him. Straight up. I already got a meal from him. And it's just throwing everybody off because it's not showing the hunger and stuff that we believe Aaron and him was perceiving that he had. And even though he has to, pay the money and it ends up a little bit, I feel like you don't want people to look at you and be like, damn, you a capper. You put on this grind, you put on this thing, you put on this facade like this, but you're not actually going to step. You're not, when it comes down to it, you're not actually going to step. And you shouldn't compare his Haney, and you couldn't compare Haney and Shakur, because what we say about Haney and Shakur, both of these boys are recognized as the highest levels in their division, sir. Let's just keep it a book. Their negotiations different. You're trying to get at their table. You got name association by stepping in the ring with a person like that. Like, I want to be in a room with Bill Gates right now. I don't care if I want to be in a room with him. You see what I'm saying? But that's all I got to say, Ness. But yeah, I would love your rebuttal or response to that. But that's all I got to say.
You may feel like it's your time, but it's not your time.
I really don't know what he wanted me to rebuttal. Like, feel like there was the same talking points. Jay Billy lost.
Yo.
You.
You got me?
You.
time. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to the back room real quick. You know how we do. Yes, sir. Shout out Ness putting in that work. But Ness, you know I had to tap in. Did you say you would favor Africa over Matthias?
Mm-hmm. I say yeah.
What's that? What's that like? We doing eye? You going by your eye test now? Like you fucking with the eye test? I ain't never known you to be the eye test type.
Nah, I'm the ride with a dude till the wheels fall off type.
Okay, so what have you seen from Africa that you didn't see from Bud that still kind of had you on the ropes? You know what I'm saying? To where you wasn't all in for the Spence fight. Like, man, Bud got this. I need to see it at the weigh-in. Even though I knew
Bruh.
who you was
Well,
picking, you was always picking Bud.
first of all, it's too soon to compare those two situations because you forget a lot of y'all just showed up. I've been doing this 13 years. When I was rocking with Bud, he had
I've been
braids.
here 7, gang. I've been here 7
All
with you.
right.
On God.
When